The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink!
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this scheduled release Wednesday, May 15th, 2024. This program starts now.
Sports!
Oh, wonderful. Sports are the greatest things of all time. Last night, it was a tough evening of sports watching for those of us in Indianapolis, Indiana, as the Pacers traveled back to Madison Square Garden to take on a Knicks team that they just smacked in the mouth on Mother's Day, and they would go on and lose by 30. Okay, so now the Knicks and the Pacers will do battle on Friday here in Indianapolis, Indiana, and if Big Dale Davis is revving the engine before that game starts, we all know what's going to take place, and that's a Game 7 back in New York, which seems to be an impossible place to play.
Yep.
Now let's go away from the NBA. Let's go to the W. Well, everybody's watching the WNBA game last night. Why is that? Well, Caitlin Clark is making her debut for the Indiana Fever. And I know there's WNBA enthusiasts and people that have been watching the W for years and years. And that particular league certainly deserves a lot more love and has deserved a lot more love than it has gotten over the entirety of its existence. The rookie salary is only $78,000. That's less than an entry salary at this particular company. So we don't love that is certainly the case for the WNBA, but can't wait to watch it continue to grow and continue to build, and more superstars coming out of college women's basketball going into the W to make it a sport that'll be able to be heralded as one of the top 5, top 6 leagues in the United States of America. We're on our way there.
Oh, yeah.
And then Isaac Bennett, this little rat bastard piece of shit, wanted to make the whole thing about himself. Gives Caitlin Clark 2 phantom fouls early, 2 calls early. She had 10 turnovers. Yeah, she's playing with 2 fouls literally since the first 2 minutes of the game because some asshole wanted to say, this ain't how college basketball, this is the WNBA. Welcome to my league. Then people talking about, well, she didn't play that great. She was like 3 shots away from having 30 in her debut. Most 3-point shots made in the history of the WNBA in a debut performance. And this is, I think your microphones are all on in the back. We can hear everything you're saying. You guys are doing great work back there, though. I want you to know that. Caitlin Clark gets her first points after a steal, has a layup. And I'll say this about Caitlin Clark's debut. She has enough speed. She has enough intelligence. She has enough ability. And her 3 ball started hitting a little bit later than everybody expected because she had a couple step backs in the first quarter that didn't fall. She had a runner in the first quarter that didn't fall. She had another close one that didn't fall. Those all rattle home. She had 32 points. That's what she would have had. Instead, she had 20 and a loss. And I learned from watching this, and even though I live in the great city of Indianapolis and a great state of Indiana, that Fever team was 13-27 last year.
Yeah, they stunk.
They had the number 1 overall pick for a reason. I didn't know.
Okay.
As I was watching, I was thinking to myself, well, no, we're not just going to go win this whole thing. I was sitting next to the Las Vegas Aces, the back-to-back champions, at the NBA All-Star Celebrity Game, and I was looking them right in their face. Didn't know who they were. Right in their face, I was saying, it's over. Good luck. Have you seen what she did at Iowa with a team that we didn't think, necessarily had as many superstars as some other college basketball teams? Once she gets into the WNBA, playing with these WNBA players, it's only going to be a matter of time before the Fever might take a little bit.
Sure. Just a bit. No doubt.
The Aces maybe win another one.
Maybe.
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I might have been speaking out of pocket. I might not have known exactly what I was talking about. But what I saw last night is Caitlin is going to figure it out.
Yes.
Okay. Boston has 1-2. They're going to be phenomenal. I like the way Aaliyah Boston's talking to her going into halftime. It does feel like a good relationship. But a lot of things are going to have to change on that Fever team. Okay. We're going to have to realize that we got the one. And let's start doing it. A lot of things are going to have to change.
Changes at the top.
Yeah.
Well said,
Tony.
That's one half of the hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys, Tone Diggs. One game. We're one game into this. Toxic Tables here at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. I know everybody in Iowa was watching that game last night. I was watching that game last night. As soon as she went to the bench with 2 fouls after missing a couple shots, everybody changed the channel. I assume the ratings are going to go, boom. They were playing in a building that hadn't been sold out for the Sun since 2003. Why were they doing that? Why was that happening to the people that hate Caitlin Clark? Why do you think that building was sold out?
Double deuce.
Bingo! Bingo! Oh, they're playing in bigger arenas whenever the Fever come to town. Why is that?
Double deuce.
Oh, bingo! Did anybody tell Isaac Bennett, the ref, that called 2 phantom calls? She was the only one that had any fouls. And they were bullshit calls to start this entire thing. So I don't think it was necessarily the dream start for Caitlin Clark. Or for the Fever. But there's going to have to be some figuring out that I guess takes place that I could never account for because, once again, I've never watched a WNBA game, even though I assumed I had it figured out, which is part of the problem.
Yeah, hand up. I had not either. Okay, but I am.
It's a different sport than women's college basketball. I'll let you know, I love women's college basketball.
Listen, I could watch Iowa women's basketball play.
Blooter ball.
Exactly, 7 days a week. And I don't want to get on here. I mean, you mentioned it. We're one game into the season, okay? So we should pump the brakes a little bit, but that's not what we do. We tend to come in and overreact because we're passionate fans.
That's right.
Okay? We love our Indiana Fever.
That's right.
We love them.
Yes, we do.
And I love Caitlin Clark, okay? So I just want to say we may need to consider a coaching change.
Bingo. What?
I'm not. Listen,
The first game?
First game back.
First game?
We're less than 8 hours removed from the first game.
If you watch that Iowa team, they are run and gun. They just up and down the court, up and down the court.
3/4 length court passes.
Exactly. We're trying to get as many buckets and as many shots up as possible. And then I see the Fever last night, just this slow, methodic pace, Listen, Coach Bluter just retired, okay? The winningest coach in women's Big Ten history. I don't know. Does she maybe want to come up to Indiana, and coach Caitlin?
Bring in Bluter.
I'm just saying.
Could you imagine how pissed everybody would be?
God, yes.
Everybody would be so mad. Oh, Caitlin Clark, she's like LeBron, huh? Just gets coaches fired. That's what happens in there. And I don't think that's the case. I don't even know our coach's name.
Me neither.
She's doing great.
I'm just bullshit.
It's not Lisa Bluter.
Okay.
True.
We've seen Caitlin play in Bluter Ball.
Exactly.
And it was electrifying. Kept me on literally the edge of the seat for the entire game.
Yeah.
Last night was tough. It was tough. I think we're all going to have to get used to a brand new style of women's basketball. Obviously, there's somebody on the Sun became the 5th leading scorer in the history of the league last night. Yeah. We're smooth. We're talking about there's some bucket getters on that other team that I've never heard of.
There are a lot of good players in the W.
They are very talented.
Which we're finding out, as we go along here as new fans of the W.
As season ticket holders, multiple of us on this stage for the Indiana Fever. We were watching that game last night, and we're excited to be along for the journey.
Can't wait.
We go from 13-27 last year. Did we know that was the record?
No. I should have known. We had the number 1 pick, but
we didn't know how.
Where we
we got a little bit to go.
Yeah.
Seems like we got a little bit to go.
That ref has to go. If you're commissioner of the Dub, that ref has to go. That's worst case scenario in the debut of Caitlin Clark is to give her 2 quick fouls. That cannot happen, no matter what.
2 quick bullshit fouls.
Yeah,
terrible ones.
Like not even like the one. She must have got her in the head, and then they said replay. No, I don't think she even touched that girl. Okay, so the first call, you just want to get one out. You want to make a call. You're a ref. Now, not like what's going on in the NBA, where Scott Foster and Tony Peters think the people are out to watch them
That's a joke.
play a game out there. And then let alone what happened in hockey. We're going to have an official state of the officials here in a matter of like 20, 30 minutes or so to really break down what's going on with these refs all of a sudden. And I think it will kind of echo the sentiment of what Roger Goodell said whenever we and others have pressed him about having full-time refs. He said, well, I've seen what full-time refs do in these other leagues, and are they perfect? At all. You tell me.
No.
We're trying to get better, he said. We're trying to utilize technology, but also we don't know if just full-time is the right answer because some of these other leagues have full-time, and they seemingly are assholes. Not all of them. There's always good refs.
Right.
But seemingly Isaac Bennett, we need his ass kicked out off the tour.
Now.
Kicked off the tour. 12-year NFL vet. A man who only played corner. Now, a rapper with a new song debuting in 6 days. Ladies and gentlemen, Pac-Man Joe.
Yeah.
Pac, you watch much WNBA before this season? Do you know much about it?
No, only college.
Yeah,
now
me
I'm
too.
watching WNBA.
Me too. So
But the game is a lot slower than college. Like
is.
it's like a pro game. It's not going out there doing no huddle. College, women basketball is like no huddle college football. WNBA is like the pros. Yeah. You're gonna slow the shit down, and we're gonna work on sex and try to get the matchup.
13 and 27 is 40 games. Okay, if we're doing math. How many games are the college women?
That.
Yeah, probably about. Yeah, I think.
Well,
I mean,
what was South
Iowa
Carolina?
went, I think, 33-5 last year.
Because some people, we're talking making the football reference. I thought about this last night, literally, because like Chip Kelly comes into Philly, tries to do what the college thing does. Not going to work. Longer season. Like, hey, you're not going to be able to get adults to do this. 35-year-olds to be able to do this for 17 weeks, then playoffs plus preseason. Like, college is shorter. You got younger, but everything like that. It's like same amount of games as college. Somebody could come in there and run no huddle. It seems like I don't know if that's what the
More
ACC
talent. NBA more talent. I mean, WNBA more talent.
See, I don't know. I saw
college
Caitlin-
than NFL. NFL, you got 56 dogs.
Yeah.
In college, you might got 2 dogs.
Yeah, you're talking about more talent. I saw somebody try to catch a 3-quarter pass. It threw hands, ball and face, ball go out of bounds. It's like I didn't see any of that in Iowa. I don't know what the hell's going on out here. So I think the Fever are only on the way up. But congrats to the Connecticut Sun on a big time win in front of that crowd.
They're a good team.
They are good team.
Good
They are a good team. They got scores over
They
there.
do.
Tough.
And those refs, the Connecticut Sun also put Caitlin, I guess, in those positions to look like she potentially fouled, even though she didn't. So we got to give them credit for that. And we'll be keeping track of the entire WNBA.
They'll
season.
figure it out.
Yeah, we paid a lot of money for those season tickets that I think have lost some value since last night. I'm telling you what, the first game, dude.
I looked on SeatGeek this morning. Yeah, you get some good prices.
I hope the Fever, they lost all faith in you after one game. There's people calling for coaching change.
Ridiculous.
Stack those chips.
Stack them up.
Stack those chips, Fever. It's our era. And also, let Caitlin cook.
Yeah. Need
bingo.
23s from her a game.
Just let her. Yeah. If she wants
At
to pull
least.
up, let her. Who cares?
Come on, Lisa. Come home.
Yeah. You're calling for a coaching change after one game, and that's just our passion. But we will stick by this Fever team, won't we?
Without a doubt.
Give it time.
I was promised wins.
See, Tone might not.
They'll come, Tony. They'll come. Just give it
All
time.
right. One game.
Not your NFL vet, a man who probably does know a little bit more about the WNBA than all the rest of us. You went to UConn, obviously. Ladies and gentlemen, Darius J. Ball. D-Butt, you followed the W before last night? Or
Yes. I have friends that have played in the W. Tina Charles, Bree Stewart, Renee Montgomery, so Maya Moore. So I've obviously been following the league for a long time. Like, to your point, good team. Alyssa Thomas, thinks she may be third favorite coming in to be the MVP. Obviously, Asia Wilson out there, who she had 30, 13, and 5 for her aces start. So some good teams out there, some talent. College ball, I feel like the talent is kind of more concentrated at the top. Like, it's much more top heavy. WNBA is more spread out. So it's definitely going to take some time. I think our win total is like 20 for the Fever going into this season. So that may have dropped a couple games.
That's not bad.
We shall
That'd be
see
good.
off our first performance. But Caitlin will definitely figure it out. It's a transition. Carrington was a great defender on her last night. She's going to see that. They're going to have a game plan for her every game out there. So obviously her and Leah Boston got to get going as well.
she had 10 turnovers, and they were.
That's a lot.
It is.
Yeah, that's a record, actually. It's actually a record.
If people can't catch the ball, it's not her fault.
Yeah, she's also. We got no look passes happening. We got some magic cooking. And Caitlin said afterwards, it's just one game. We got to move on and do this. I assume she'll call it all a blur because everything. I mean, she sold out an arena for the first. Justin Fields is dead.
No.
Justin Fields is dead.
It's a bad omen.
Where's the whistle
That
tip?
is a
Bad omen.
Oh, no.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who might be able to tell us a little bit more about Tone Diggs just killing Justin Fields here in this first hour of this
setup.
schedule release Wednesday, May 15th. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Lombardi. Lombo.
How we doing, guys?
Hey, listen, Lombo. Whenever we saw the Pelicans when they drafted Zion, and they introduced him third or something in his first game instead of fifth, whenever, and then when he got on the court, you could tell he was told, like, hey, this isn't your let's be scared to have it. He was just passing the ball, everything like that. Why don't organizations just say, hey, listen, it's your show, dude. Okay, what do you want to do? How do you want to play? What do you want to? Is that because obviously Caitlin Clark is not in a position to give those answers at the W? You don't want to put too much. I think what the Pelicans told us is like, we don't want Zion to feel like he has to carry the entire city. But I think some of these stars, and I'm not saying Zion at the time was ready for it, but like Zion coming into the NBA, like this is next.
The guy.
Only one name needed, and he is star. He's able to do this entire thing. Caitlin coming into the WNBA, it's like, hey, listen, higher ratings than everything she's a part of. I know there's other good players. I don't think they were on the Fever that sold out the Connecticut Sun building for the first time since 2003. But I know there was other good players around women's college basketball. We were all watching. We enjoyed the storylines. How come there isn't that move, you think, from a franchise or a program just to go to a rookie like, hey, we need you to do everything? Is it too much too quick, you think? We need to ease into it, baby? What do you think as a leader?
Well, I think any great player, shows himself or herself really quickly. And I don't think you need to worry about that. Clark is a great player. She's going to show herself, and the other players are going to see her greatness and her talent and respect that. And then she's got to kind of get involved. You can't lead unless you've earned it, right? You can't come in and practice and lead without having some skins on the wall. It takes a little bit of time to develop that. It took Michael Jordan some time. I'm sure, when you watch the NBA, you see guys that have been able to do that because of their play. And I think eventually in 2 or 3 games. Now, as an executive, I think you have to recognize what Clark can do and build a team around her and her skill set. That's really important. Just like the Minnesota Timberwolves have built a team around the greatness of Anthony Edwards, and they've kind of filled that in. Tim Conley has done a really good job of that. Now I know they're down 3-2 to Denver, but that's the job of a general manager, is to find a great player and then accentuate the great player's strengths. And then it allows the role players to have their strengths. So it's a twofold issue, but I fully expect her to show her talent, and the players will respect it. If you just give it to them, the players are always going to wonder, why did you do that? Eventually they say, man, that's right. She's going to carry us.
Yeah, she'll earn it, I believe, is probably that's probably how Zion looked at it. Wemby in San Antonio had a similar situation early with a lot of players that were maybe on the Spurs last year, like, oh, this guy's the one, he doesn't understand it. Maybe. And I'm not saying the Fever are acting like that towards Caitlin at all. I'm just saying, like,
seems like they love her.
I mean, you're talking about every video that has come from training camp. It's like they
huge fan.
I don't want to say they understand, but they probably assume the amount of pressure that this girl has felt her entire life, and they want her to feel welcome and everything like that. But I just want green light for Caitlin Clark.
Wherever.
I just green, whatever. Hey, you do whatever the hell you need to do. And then Aaliyah Boston is phenomenal. She didn't have a big game last night either. It's like both of them, if they're able to figure out, you're off and running. But whenever you say GM, a head coach, Tone's already calling for the head coach to get fired. One game into this, Lombo. One game into this, Lombo, in this city. This lady, he's already called, get her out of there.
Promise greatness.
Yeah.
And then Ty's like, Bluter's available. We'll bring her up. Anyways, let's talk football, shall we? Tom Brady was at the Fox upfronts, and yesterday and the last couple of days have been big upfront time where all the suits kind of go and watch networks put on big time shows with their most notable faces to try to explain why you should be spending your advertising dollars or your investment dollars with us as opposed to in other places. ESPN and Disney had theirs yesterday. I was not invited back after last year's performance.
What?
Yeah, I thought I was going to get an invite back. I didn't read the third-party script who knows nothing about sports or business. I didn't read their script. I did my own thing. I knew that was probably the death of my invitation to that particular thing. Never going to be talked about or invited back, but Fox had one, and they had Tom Brady and Michael Strahan up on this beautiful stage in front of all this money. And here is what Tom and Michael Strahan's interaction was, and I'm excited to get your take on what Tom actually said and how he's going to be after.
I know you've been waiting to call your first game. Yeah. And I got a little something for you, man. I got some big news. It's huge news because I have a little something that you don't even know. The NFL schedule isn't out yet, but I know a little something about your first game.
Ooh.
Are you going to tell me?
Strahan knows.
Maybe I will. You want to know?
I want to know.
You want to know?
Damn right I want to know.
All right, drum roll, please.
Strahan.
For the first time in 5 years, the NFL on Fox opens with the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
Yes, it'll be your first game.
No way.
Round of applause from the suits.
Another thing, week 1 is back to being an exclusive doubleheader window for Fox. So how do you like that news? You get to the Cowboys first week.
Amazing. Obviously, having the Cowboys on is a huge draw. As America's team, that's going to get a little hard for me to say that all the time. I understand they were the competition for a long time. But in this new role, I know the Cowboys, how important they are to this network. They got great storylines. Come on, Dak Prescott. Let's see if he can finally come through. One of the great defensive players.
Whoa. Suits said, whoa.
Did that just slip out? Micah Parsons, what a great player he is, and Coach McCarthy. So I love covering them. I've been obviously going against them for a long time, and now I get to tell everyone how great they are.
Oh.
I really like it.
Didn't sound like he was easy, Connor.
That was really good. That was really
Connor,
good.
you got to remember the crowd there suits corny people.
No, I know, and he got me. I'm corny. I'm not corny.
That crowd is the sootiest crowd of all time. So scratch them right where they itch. With I go against them all the time. They were the competition for a while. Were they?
Yeah.
Were the Patriots and Cowboys? Was that?
I think what he's saying there, and this is where you're going to see the brilliance of Tom Brady, is because Brady is going to be able to tell you things about Mike Zimmer's defense on the Dallas Cowboys that no other commentator, with the exception of Coach Belichick or Mike Zimmer himself, could tell you. Because Brady, if you go back and look at wherever Zimmer's been, whether it's been Cincinnati or in Minnesota, Brady understands the defense. He understands what Mike's trying to do, and he's going to be able to explain that to the fans. He'll know it as well as anybody on the Cleveland Browns offensive staff. That's something that we rarely see in terms of from the quarterback's perspective. So it's going to be easy for him to understand what McCarthy does offensively in terms of the West Coast. He'll get that. But the insights into Zimmer's defense, which is really what this schedule reveal is all about. If you're the Cleveland Browns, you're back studying Minnesota's defense with Mike Zimmer, Minnesota's defense with Cincinnati when he was the defensive coordinator. You want to understand how he adjusts to things. You want to understand his adjustments to the adjustments. You want to understand how he calls the game. And with Zimmer, it's very challenging on third down, which is where he's made his living and how he became a head football coach in the NFL with his complexities on defense. So he's got Zimmer and Gunther, two guys who have been in that system together for a long, long time. That's what we're going to get out of Tom. We're going to get behind the layers there because Tom's been educated on that. There's been so much time spent, as everybody should, on coordinators as you prepare for them. And I think that's what the schedule reveal really jumps into, because you want to be able to spend your off season studying somebody that you haven't seen before.
Okay, so I love hearing that there is a purpose in a good thing that can come from the schedule release. Is like, yeah, we start looking at the coordinators now because we have no idea who the players are going to be, who the final pieces are going to be at this exact moment. But we can get a head start on training, which is what Tom Brady will be doing for his first game. And then I assume they'll give him a heads up the rest of the way on who's next week and he could dive into it. Last question for me about Tom calling games. And I appreciate you breaking that down because I think Peyton Manning, whenever he laid out about Bill Belichick joining the Manning cast, he talked about how Tom Brady told him about how Bill Belichick would bring him in on Mondays, and they would have a couple-hour meeting about what the defense coordinator is trying to do, where he comes from in big situations, what he panics and he'll go to. If we show this is what he would be tending to like. Not just him, also who he learned the defense from. Here's the rules of this defense, and he was like, he can't wait for that to be a part of the Manning cast. So Tom brings that. Do you think Tom's personality is going to be one that people are going to love immediately, or do you think people are going to take a little bit to kind of warm up to this guy that a lot of America hated for a while because he was beating up on their football teams?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it's going to come down to how he presents it. And, the challenge for anyone is to have a lot of information and present it in a condensed fashion quickly. And especially in between the time the huddle and the ball snaps. So that's where Tom's going to have to gain his energy and gain his intellect and condense it very quickly. Okay, here's what they're doing. Watch out for this. I mean, Romo became very much a cult-like figure early in his career because he was predicting plays based on formations because he had just got done playing. And I think the information gravitated people towards Romo. I think that'll be the same thing towards Brady.
Okay, I can't wait to hear him. I know Greg Olsen we're going to miss. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see what shapes up with him. But Burkhardt and Brady should be phenomenal. And we need Brady and Strahan a little bit more.
Yeah, that was good banter.
Good chemistry.
Very good.
Wasn't it?
Maybe get him on that morning show that Strahan does.
So he does that on Good Morning America.
Yeah.
Which is on
ABC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I think Strahan was at Disney's up front last year.
Bingo.
He's at Fox up front this year.
Interesting.
Strahan's a dog.
Yeah, truly.
Strahan is a
going,
dog.
Mike.
Keep going straight. Keep going straight. Hell yeah. Darius got a question for you, Lombo.
Yeah, sticking with quarterbacks, obviously Jared Goff just got paid, just got broke off, and rightfully so. And obviously that's going to start that domino effect with these other quarterbacks kind of in line. What do you think the contracts of, Jordan Love, Tua, and even Dak, what do you think their contract numbers fall?
Well, I mean, you, a player, you had agents, you, Pac-Man, Pat, you all had agents. They all know when deals are going to get done, and they all know when they don't want to do a deal, right? So I'm sure Lee Steinberg, who represents Tua, knew the Toner brothers were finishing up the deal on Goff, and he kind of had a sense of what the deal is. So there's always that instance where, you're trying to negotiate a new contract for a player, and then the agent goes radio silent on you because he knows a new deal's coming in that you're going to have a hard time defending, right? And so this is what happens with deals. Water seeks its level. And so the tide gets risen all the time. And Goff getting $53 million, how it's broken down will be interesting. But I think it's just going to continue to go up because, look, we are in a very, very profitable environment. The NFL players deserve a lot of the credit. They get the money. And so that's going to put the level of increases going way up. And I think what Detroit's been able to do now by signing Goff, right? So for the next 3 years, Detroit won't really have any issues of who they're going to sign. Everybody will be a replaceable part after this, where they can replace a guy. They let Jonah Jackson go to the Rams. They brought in Kevin Zeitler to replace him. So they can do that on an economic level. But they got their 3 players that they needed, Sewell, St. Brown, and Goff, signed, so they can manage their cap moving forward without having to be like the Cowboys, which are strapped to a huge cap number.
Well, and you got rookie contract for Hutch still.
Yep. Yeah.
Like that.
Laporta.
Which is going to be big. Hutch is going to take another big amount of money. Laporta.
That's the 3 years I'm talking about, Pat. That's the next one they got to get done, right? So they have some time here, and they just got to continue to draft well and replace players, and they got to be able to say no, too, right? You got to be able to say, I can't afford you because I got to do this, or this is where we are. You can't have everybody. You have to make choices in a cap era.
Yeah, that's part of the business saying, hey, we like you. We love you, actually. We appreciate everything you did, but we're not going to be able to pay you what you're worth. So we are so sorry, which sucks because we chose this guy at your position instead of you, so you can certainly feel a certain way. You can certainly feel a certain way if you would like about that, but this is just the reality of a situation. Like, those convos have to happen, right?
Yeah, and you want the player. Look, you want the player to get paid. I mean, that's important, right? If a player does well for you and you win, and he has to go somewhere else, you want him to get paid if you can't afford it, right? If you can't, it isn't like you're bitter about it. Like, I don't expect the guy to take less money. He's earned the right to get a contract. You just have to make choices. It's a business.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Did you guys see a new painting of the head that's wearing a crown?
Yeah, weird.
That was very interesting over there. Nonetheless, there is a head wearing a crown down in Atlanta that's certainly got a bit heavy, I assume, at times.
Yeah, Lombo, over the last couple days, Kirk Cousins done a couple interviews. He went on Bussin' with the Boys and basically said, they asked if he had any animosity towards the Falcons, and he pretty much said, like, hey, that does us no good. We're trying to win a Super Bowl. And then he did a press conference where he mentioned that the Falcons called him right before the pick and kind of just said, hey, we're taking a quarterback. End of discussion. There really wasn't any back and forth there. Obviously, you had some thoughts about that, and Super Bowl winning GM Terry Fontenot, in your words. Now that we're a couple of weeks removed from the draft, has your opinion on that whole situation changed at all, or how do you feel about it now?
I still can't figure it out. Like, I'm sitting here in my office, I rack my brain, like, how does this work out well? Play it out. Like, okay, if Cousins takes him to a Super Bowl in year 2, you have to extend Cousins after his 3rd year. You're going to let him just go? If Cousins fails and you've got to put Penix in year 2, you wasted $100 million, right? So I don't know how this works. Look, if you study history, like I'm sure the Super Bowl winning GM Terry Fontenot has done, is you realize this is hard to manage, right? Okay. This is really hard to manage. And the fact that you got 2 guys, you're trying to instill the culture within the quarterback. And it's hard to do it with 2 guys. It really is. Bill Walsh couldn't accomplish it with Steve Young and Joe Montana. Ronnie Lott went to him about week 13 of the season and said, Bill, you got to pick a guy. You got to make a choice here. We can't keep going on. Our team needs a leader. And so this just brought more conflict in. And so what we've seen out of the Super Bowl winning franchise like the Falcons is we've seen them just continue to do things that have nothing towards winning. I mean, they passed look, Bijan Robinson's a great player. We're not denying that. But they had a chance to pick Jalen Carter, a 3 technique last year. They passed on that, right? They picked Kyle Pitts, a tight end, the 5th pick over. They passed Parsons in that draft. And then this draft, they passed whether it was Latua or Murphy to pick another offensive guys. And at what point do you realize that to win a Super Bowl, You were 29th in the National Football League in creating turnovers. You couldn't stop Baker Mayfield in the 2-minute drill at home when he went down the field. You're not one player away. And so for me, I still can't get my head around it. I just don't understand it. I don't think anybody can play it out. I know Kurt's trying to be politically correct in what he's saying, but all of us that understand team building are saying this ain't going to work.
Kirk ain't a politically correct guy, though. I guess for a team, though, he would be to build a team. I think the biggest thing with this, and if you end up with a good quarterback, I think we wasted $100 million. Who cares? Like the Trey Lance, Brock Purdy situation, who cares? We end up with a good quarterback is what they'll say, and that'll be their story if it ends up working out that way. Both those guys, that's our first OTAs right there. It's their first time in the building. You're talking about whenever you're talking about like leadership and who's going to be running the team. It's like that's not just in the locker room. It's like equipment staff, training room, cafeteria, like this is Kirk's first rodeo with all these people. There isn't even like a set way of how he's going to pick balls for each game with the equipment staff. And it's like Penix, number 8 overall. Yeah. It's his first year as well. And it's like, we know Kirk. We know what type of human he is. We watch quarterback. We're incredibly entertained by Kirk Cousins and everything he is. But what if Penix is like this phenomenal leader that everybody talks about whenever he was at Washington, how everybody loved him? It's like now you're making Kirk's job much more, not just in the locker room. I'm not talking about just in the locker room. You're talking about with the fan base. You're talking about the training room, everywhere in his life. But Kirk's a veteran. They're paying him $200 million.
That's
so,
right.
Figure it out. You got to definitely do that. And Penix, you're a top 10 draft pick. You're living your dream. Figure it out. But it is still pretty puzzling. Like, even if it ends up working out, we still will be like, how the hell? How'd they know that this is well because there's so many other questions.
Maybe we get the best.
Well, I mean, look, you just look at their team, right? Everything about the offseason comes down to asking yourself 2 fundamental questions. Why we won, why we lost, right? Why were we 7-10? And you can blame Super Bowl winning GM Terry Fontenot can blame Arthur Smith for everything, which they do. Oh, it's all Arthur's fault. Poor Arthur, he gets loaded up on. But the fact that they couldn't stop anybody in the running game. When you look at how many yards they allowed, they couldn't stop the forward pass. They gave up 27. They were 27th in the league in forced interceptions. Like to win a Super Bowl, you're going to have to make plays defensively. You're going to have to rush the passer in the fourth quarter. You're going to have to get off the field. And meanwhile, Penix is sitting next to you, and he's a valuable asset that you didn't use for a defensive player. It makes no sense to me, and you can spin it any way you want, but it's really it comes down to this. The owner wanted to sign Cousins, and Super Bowl winning GM wanted to draft a quarterback, and they're both happy, and no one else is.
Yeah, but if once again week 9 something happens to Kirk and Penix comes in and does great, there's going to be a full victory lap in Atlanta for how big of a brain.
There's never going to be a victory lap, Pat, because here's the thing: when you build a team, you have to build your team starting with the day after the season all the way out. And so the real issue here is, yes, we need a quarterback. How do we solve that? If you're doing your job, Michael Penix, you don't have to go to Seattle in April and say, we were wowed by his workout. You could have sat at your desk in Flowery Branch as a Super Bowl winning general manager and watch that he could throw the ball through the roof. I mean, you don't need to do that. So when you're planning your team in February, you got to say, okay, here's how we solve this issue. We're going to sign Cousins. And now we're going to solve this issue with an 8th pick in the draft. See, that's called team building. This is called grab bagging. Oh, we'll take this guy. We'll take that guy.
Okay. Darius said maybe there's a positive to this.
No, I mean, we talked yesterday about revenge bodies and the revenge thing. Obviously, when Jordan Love got drafted, we got, back-to-back MVP years from Aaron Rodgers, the competition.
COVID MVP, but
don't forget. You mentioned, even them kind of coming on almost even ground. Obviously, we know Kirk is kind of more of a known commodity in the league, and Michael Penix is like, hey, this obviously went top 10. And we know, Pac, we see these guys making throws, like we're going to be looking at each other like, hold on, maybe 9 should be in there. So it is a tough spot you putting the quarterback in, but at the same time, we had a bunch of backup quarterbacks playing last year. It's not like Kirk is coming off a healthy year. He's coming in banged up. I understand definitely what Lombo's saying as far as building that team But, I don't think anybody up here expects the Falcons to go on the Super Bowl run this year.
You go back to the
They do. Everybody does.
Oh, no.
Tell them, Lombo.
Oh, look at the odds. No, they think they're one player away.
They are the favorite of this.
There's no similarity between Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers because they picked Love in the 20s, right? They picked him in the bottom. You're talking about a top 10 pick.
Well,
You're
Aaron's
talking about
also been
empty-
there. Aaron's been there for 18 years at that time, or 17
and they
years.
knew he was kind of disgruntled, and
Yeah, and then
And they, they just gave $100 million of Ben Franklin's out. Like, they just gave $100 million out. Like, seriously.
you talked about the Niners with the Joe Montana, Steve Young situation. Joe Montana told us that he said, let's put our salaries on the line. Let's compete against it.
Easy.
Let's compete against it.
Him and
then,
Steve.
Obviously, that ends with two great quarterbacks playing concurrently after each other, which is obviously a beautiful thing, which is what Atlanta is hoping for. But in the time being, there will be a lot of questions answered as this schedule continues to roll out this evening and the NFL season actually starts.
Hell yeah.
Now, off-season is filled with beautiful moments. Yeah. Tone has a question, Lombo.
Yeah, Lombo, bit of a game here. What do you think someone wanted to do less? And we're talking about Bill Belichick, and that was, do you think he wanted to do the draft spectacular less, or do you think he wanted to do that shot with Robert Kraft on the stage at Tom Brady's roast less?
I think he probably enjoyed being around you guys than the roast. I would think so.
I crushed at the roast.
Yeah, I mean, but look, I think it was awkward. It was uncomfortable. I haven't watched the roast yet at all. I won't. I haven't. But listen to what Julian said after the roast. I've heard his comments because I love Julian. I listened to what he said. You could feel the tension within the building. But how could you not feel the tension? I mean, the 10-part infomercial that was produced on Apple was exactly destroying. I mean, I don't even know. I got to check and see if Bill was even in the office for those 24 years. It's kind of remarkable. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Can we check his time card there and see if it got stamped? We might want to, because he obviously wasn't there, and that game plan that beat the Rams in the first Super Bowl and the game plan that beat the Rams in the second Super Bowl, I'm sure that somebody from the Kraft family must have put that in and then got it going.
Well, that's the
I'm
thing.
guessing.
Everybody's talking about how smart Bill Belichick is. That information was all funneled to him from Jonathan.
Of course.
So that was
It had to be. That's why you have to go back. It's like the Kennedy. You got to go to the Warren Commission and look at the timestamps on the data collection. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Do we have any more updates on that whole thing? I saw you getting into it with somebody who had somebody.
I always get into it, Posner. He wrote the worst book in the history. It's called Case Closed. It's filled with lies, complete lies. Okay. So we don't want to go down that road. My wife gets mad at me every time I go down that road. But here's
you are very passionate on that particular road, though.
Yes,
most I've ever met. I
paving that road.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, in the front.
I mean, I think we deserve the right to know. We lost too many people at Vietnam because of it, and they deserve the right to know. So, but that's a whole other situation. I just think, to me, one of the things you want to do, and I wrote about this for the Daily Coach, the Minnesota Vikings kept Bud Grant's office intact as an honor to him. He went to 4 Super Bowls for the franchise. He was, these players in Minnesota have no idea who Bud Grant was. They just know he's a guy that would sit outside in the cold with no shirt on, with no coat on, That's all they know. They don't know what he did. But that Will family paying respects to him because of the contributions he made to the franchise that they didn't know when he owned it. To me, that's really classy.
Okay.
And to have that infomercial, I think is an injustice to the greatest coach of all time.
How about, should I also call him the greatest GM of all time?
Well, you can't say that because none of the players he drafted. See, Barmore just showed up there. He just went there because the campus was there. He liked Boston, and Diggs just showed up there. Yeah, Duggar just showed up there, too. It's amazing how they just got there. I don't know how the hell they did it, And why don't you add underneath this little GM thing here that says, over the last 10 years, the Patriots spent the least amount of money of cash of any team in the NFL. That's documented. That's fact. And why don't you put that underneath there?
Okay, there's a lot of other things that could potentially go on there, like, all the future Hall of Famers that are definitely right around the corner.
Yeah.
They are just, that were drafted potentially by a guy who...
But he wasn't in the building. He was probably duck hunting or something.
Okay. All right. Let's stick with that particular organization, though, because, maybe that infomercial was just the ownership telling the fans, hey, we might have lost somebody. Okay, I get it. But the future is very bright. You have all the brains still here, and maybe this was just a work for their players.
Yep.
Just like this was a work for the fans. Just like when Rick Carlisle came out and said, small-town teams are allowed to win, too.
That's right.
Everybody started, wah. That was for the players. That was for the fans saying, hey, listen, I'm with you out here. Maybe that's all the Crafts were doing because the Patriots seemingly in a great spot. Connor has a question.
Yeah, feeling great, Lombo. For 2 months, we talked about how Drake May has a lot to work on. Then Mayo says it, and now all of a sudden he stinks. What can you actually find out about these rookies at the rookie minicamp? Is there anything legitimate that fans or the team can take away in those couple days? And when you hear something like that, a coach say, yeah, this player has a lot to work on. Obviously, it's heightened because it's Drake May, and he's the third overall pick, and he plays quarterback. But what does that really tell you about their expectations with Drake May? And what can I, as a Patriots fan, walk away from this from? Like, yeah, we're still going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, well, we might want to temper that a little bit. But
What?
Look, I think to me that what you can only really look for at these camps is who's in shape and who's not, right? It's like who's in condition. And then it's the job of the organization to educate the players about the difference between being an amateur and being a professional, right? And that's, even though they're in an IL now and they're always professionals, there's a huge difference between being an amateur and being a professional. And it's the job of the organization to remind the players that, when you come out, amateurs focus on the outcome, professionals focus on the process. Amateurs focus on the scoreboard. Professionals want to want to do something good every day. So there's these distinctions that you go through, right? That you have to educate what's the difference, because you're moving them from college where the life was really fun and they were the stars of the campus, into a world where it's a business. And we all know it's a cutthroat business and it's a difficult business. And it's the job of the organization to basically educate them. And that's what's really the most important thing about rookie camps. And for the next 2 months, the onboarding of these players is really critical. Teaching them what it takes to be a Patriot, teaching them what it takes to be a professional, removing them. Because, look, a lot of these guys, you can talk to them. You guys have seen them. You've played. Guys that don't take their schooling serious. The difference between studying for pro and studying for the college is completely different. The time you have to put in. You're a professional now. You're not an amateur any longer. You're not going to stay on scholarship. You're here. And I think that's the real issue. And so you just have to be patient. And I think May will respond to that. I think Elliott Wolf will do a good job in drafting. I think Elliott's really good. I like Elliott. It's just going to take some time to get this collective together to see who they are. Because what you want to do, just like we started this whole conversation, you want to figure out who Drake May is and what style of play does he need to be most effective.
Now, Conman, I haven't seen the reaction. Patriots fans, because I quote tweeted in the group text and said, this guy stinks. He's saying there's a lot to work on. Is that how Patriots fans are also responding to Gerard Mayo's?
Well, not really, just because we legitimately talked for 2 months about
didn't Belichick kind of lay it all out? Belichick was the one that almost told the New England fans, like, hey, here's everything that Drake is going to have to work on to be in it. Right. And then at the beginning, people in New England, I think, were pissed at Bill for saying this, right? Oh, this guy's a hater. He's doing this entire thing.
So that part, actually, not really, just because they focused on, like, the fact that, like, okay, his feet are his biggest problem. Maybe that is something that is easier versus, like, his accuracy being a massive problem. But I think the biggest thing for the Mayo was people in New England Drake May was the only guy out of those top three quarterbacks that wasn't expected to start right away. So, like, the idea that he has a lot to work on really didn't shake anybody, because it was
that's what I'm saying. I feel like the table was already set.
Yeah, exactly.
For Drake May. The table has already been set for Drake May. Yeah, Orlovsky was pitching it since
Kurt Warner said it. Literally everyone who came on that was a quarterback said he's got some work to do.
Well,
exactly.
And if you give this guy
they
a
all
year,
do.
Yeah, well, that was Bill.
They all do.
That was Bill Belichick.
That's why he signed. That's why they signed Jacoby Brissett for $8 million. They knew what they were doing. They didn't spend $100 million to sign a guy as they watched their player develop. They spent $8 million to do that.
Okay, we get it. Pac-Man has a question for you about a brand new program we just heard about.
Yeah, the Giants did spend $100 million on their quarterback, and we just found out they'll be doing Hard Knocks. As a GM coming off a shitty year, just got rid of Barkley. All the eyes on you. Are you for this Hard Knocks thing? And how in the hell does the NFL pick the New York Giants out of any other team that we could have picked for content?
I think it's going to be great, Pac. I agree with you. If I were the GM, I wouldn't want it, but we're going to get down to the bottom line. Remember the rhetoric that was coming out that the Giants wanted Alt, and that's why they were trying to trade up. They didn't want the quarterback, which to me is kind of an indictment on watching their quarterback, right? Like, why wouldn't you want a quarterback? I watched Daniel Jones play. We need a quarterback. But they said, oh, no, we want the left tackle. But then they made no attempt to trade with Arizona when Alt was still on the board. Like, they stopped trying to trade for the third pick once May went off the board. So it's a little bit of a confusing. Maybe this Hard Knocks off season with the Giants will allow us to. These hard knock things are dangerous for franchises. I think we've seen coaches who have been in this get fired because the fans see what their coach is doing, and they're like, wait a minute, that ain't very good, right? This could be really bad. Like, you have to come out and, like, you want to show people that you kind of have it all together. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I look, everybody thinks they're going to win the Super Bowl in May. We'll see if their offseason that the Giants had this year is good enough.
Hugh Jack City. First person I think of.
Oh, man. Yeah.
First scene of Hard Knocks for Hugh, who we are a fan of. Yeah. He's been on the show.
Great tequila.
He's got tequila. We think first scene of the first episode of that Cleveland Browns after they lost every game the year before is him at a charity event saying, I know I can win here. I can win here. And I'm like, I've never heard a coach say I can win. Any coach has said we or this is what we need to do, but like the way he was talking in the first scene of the first episode, I'm like, this doesn't seem like this.
How about his team? How about his team meeting? How about his staff meetings? Freddie Kitching became the head coach because he was the only one in that staff meeting that actually sounded like he knew what the hell was going on. Like, he got a battlefield promotion based on those meetings. That just shows you how bad it was, right? Like, and then when you let those cameras in, look, I think it can go both ways. It can enhance you, but it could hurt you.
Yeah, but it's good for the fans to see, like, oh yeah, this team is inept.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Exactly what I thought. Because who was about to Haley? Right?
Yeah, Todd Haley was
about to fight Hugh Jack because he wanted somebody to practice. Yeah. Hugh Jack said, we can't be practicing. And he, like, actually, in the middle of the meeting, put, like, his hands on, like, the side of his head. And it's like, wow, this place is as dysfunctional as advertised. You're right, Wamba. I haven't even thought about that I assume GMs talk about, you don't want to get Cleveland, do you? You don't get exposed out there at all.
Haley had that recommendation.
It happened way before, too. It happened back in Kansas City when Herm was there. I mean, they had a scene of Herm sitting in his office deciding on who was going to be his starting quarterback. I think one of them was, and neither of them, it was Brady Coyle was one of them, and Damon Heward. That he was deciding on which. He was sitting there pondering it, and I'm sitting there watching it saying, you don't have a quarterback. There's nothing to ponder here now. You don't have a quarterback. Like, when you don't have one, you don't need to ponder. Like, let's just go on to the next guy.
Flip a coin. What were you going to say, Ty?
There was just that scene where Haley was like pitching something to Hugh, and Hugh was like, yeah, well, when you're sitting in my seat, maybe we can do something like that. But it just completely shut him down. And yeah, I think a lot of people did think they were going to get into a fist fight at some point.
We were talking about this before we went on air with Pac-Man, who's a big Bengals fan. This wrist thing. Okay, we talked to AJ had this surgery. D-Butt had this surgery. Somebody came out and said that no other quarterback has had the same surgery that he had on his wrist. This is more of a physical contact type wrist surgery or injury. And D-Butt told us right before we went on live, like, the issue with it is that the blood flow is not really as good.
That was a part of it. That's what the doctor that did the surgery on me, because I played most of the season with the injury. And usually, even if you don't get surgery, bone injuries will heal on their own because of the blood flow. But this one, it didn't. So part of the surgery was like redirecting, some of the veins or vessels or whatever. So it'd be interesting to see him obviously take falls.
Bingo.
And that's something he has to do every game as a quarterback.
How worried do you think, like, for an injury, let's say any injury that could be a lingering injury, especially at a massive position. And we know Browning is there and he played well last year and everything like that.
Yeah.
Duke is thinking about that over there in Cincinnati with the obscurity of this particular wrist injury at the quarterback position, or having other backup plans, or do you just have to go all systems go, Joe's going to be able to make it?
I think they go all systems go. But what you guys brought up to me is interesting. Is if the blood flow doesn't get into his hand, does that mean his hand gets cold and it doesn't have a real good feeling in it? I think that would be my concern. Listening to that report is a quarterback's hand on the football is all about his feel and making sure. And if it's cold because of the weather, because there's not enough blood flow that gets to your hands, and you have blue things around your fingernail, that makes it very challenging. How you can get hand warmers and all that.
Your fingers get cold?
That wasn't an issue for it. It's literally the blood flow to like those bones. And I would, you'd much rather get a doctor on here to talk about it, because I'm sure everybody's injury was
You're
different.
a doctor.
You're a doctor.
So it wasn't
DR
Butt. It wasn't like
Dr. Butt.
My left hand compared to my right hand didn't get any, more or less cold.
How about the movement? Because AJ says his hand.
Oh yeah, no, I've lost. at least 50% of.
So that's what AJ said as well. 50% of it, and for those positions, it doesn't really. I'm not going to say it doesn't matter. Obviously, it affects
not
things
as much,
like a jumper, maybe a golf swing.
Exactly.
But whenever you're trying to tackle or just catch, like you can make do. But with quarterbacking, like that's a flick of the wrist is a massive part of the entire thing. I hope Joey B can just have a year.
Yeah.
You know? Where he can just be who the hell he is, which is an absolute savage.
This the year.
Because the wrist thing is a little bit worrisome just because it's never happened before. Pac-Man has no fear.
No, I don't. You said Joey. One wrist is better than both of you guys quarterback. But anyway, make no story short. D-Buzz, I was going to ask you this question. You feel way more than probably what Joey going to fall with playing gunner and doing all of that and using your hands more.
Yeah.
You think it's going to affect them that much?
I mean, just the landing aspect of, because you're going to break your fall and you can't.
Nah, he's going to fall right on his face. All right, Joey B. Joey B. Joey, we got to start working on just straight up face. Just face bumps. No arms.
Jiu-jitsu. He's got to take jiu-jitsu. He's got to take jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, he does. He's going to take, actually, Taibo maybe, because I think the best landing would potentially be left.
Yeah, you're right.
With no right.
Yep.
And you got to have that core stability with a double time go. He's going to have to.
Latua.
That's what we need him to get into.
Latua could show him the way.
Yeah, Latu's his name. Okay, so let's go ahead and have a little bit of respect.
Go ahead. Me and AJ, both of us, we played months with the injury. He didn't play. You know, he got the surgery kind of, I guess, shortly after it. So maybe his recovery could be much better. But I mean, it's something to be concerned about because Joe Burrow, his career, even coming in from college, has kind of been riddled with injuries. We know the talent he has, but your quarterback got it. Your best ability is availability, especially at that quarterback position.
Last question here from me about the schedule release. Other than preparing for first coordinator you're going to play, and maybe the first, are you preparing for the first? What should we look for tonight? Obviously, the international games.
I think a lot of it
announced.
is like, okay, you don't. There's when you play that Sunday. Who do you play Sunday? Who does Buffalo and Miami play the Sunday before that Thursday game? Right? They'll know each other there. Those are always ones that you want to look at. How physical the team you have to play before you play on a short week. That's something that I always look into. You want to make sure that you understand that. And then you really have to do a good job on those holiday games if you have them, because it's going to be a short week of incorporating those games within your summer training camp so you have an idea on who you're playing there. And especially, like, if you're Seattle and you're playing the NFC North, right? Nobody knows what Mike McDonald's going to do. So if you're Detroit, you got to get ready for Baltimore, who you really don't play very much. You got to get ready for the Baltimore defense, and you want to see that. And then you want to play new staffs early in the season. I think that's really important as they kind of get going because they haven't had a full season to get their programs in place.
New staffs, maybe new quarterbacks in new places. Ooh. You know, new. They're not going to be able to figure it out.
Look at Jordan Love. I mean, Jordan Love at the beginning of the year last year, LaFleur was really protecting him. And by the end of the year, he was developing them. And that was a huge difference. Remember, the Raiders beat him at home, and Love did not play well. He threw 3 interceptions in that game. They were protecting him. But eventually, by the middle of the season, he just exploded. And I think that's kind of like, for me, I'd want to play the Chiefs earlier in the year as they kind of go through their offense and changes what they're doing defensively. They lose Snead. The receiving room isn't different. That, to me, is what you want. You want to get somebody earlier in the season.
Okay, so I like where your head's at. I want the Chiefs in the middle. The middle, they get bored, seemingly.
Yeah, aren't they undefeated in September?
Well, that's what, at the beginning, it feels like shows back in town.
They lost the Lions week 1 last year.
Baltimore and Cincy are both 4-1. Baltimore and the Chiefs are 4-1 in opening games. Both coaches are the same on opening day. But my point about KC early is, I think there's an idea that they're going to go back to becoming more offensive than they were. They still have to play the same way. They got to win with their defense. I'm not sure they're off. We don't know who their left tackle is going to be. The receiving room with Rashid Rice, that suspension, if it happens, coming. So there's a lot of question marks there. They'll be well coached. They'll be prepared. There's no question. But early in the year, figuring out who they're going to be on offense has to be based on last year.
I love all this. Thank you. As we watch tonight and hear about the games leaking throughout the day, we'll keep an eye on all those things. As punter kicker, I want to know when we're going to windy places. Earlier in the year or later in the year. Debo, what are you looking at?
Cold games. You know, when are the cold games, and then when's the bye week? When's our bye week?
And you in Cincinnati, I guess every game's potentially cold. What else are you looking for? Matchups?
Well, cold is the main thing. I really don't like going to Kansas City or Pittsburgh, like late December, early January, because that wind off the river, oh my God.
Yeah, nightmare. Absolute nightmare. How about matchups?
Catching punts, too.
How about matchups?
Oh, it don't matter. Every week is a good matchup.
Yeah.
I love matchups.
You're going to get a dog.
Yeah, you're going to get a good matchup.
Okay, so that's not even a
thought.
Okay, not even a thought. Ooh, are you looking forward to week 3? You're going to be taking, well, week 1 and 2, they got guys too.
Yeah,
So,
pretty warm
let's
week
make
3.
sure we're taking care of all of that. Hey, Lombo, we appreciate you for joining us, brother.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Good luck.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Lombardi. You
too.
Can't wait for the inevitable letter from that author.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Worst book in the
Might send
history
your book.
ever.
Might send it to you.
I hope so. I'll be able to tell you if they're lies or not, too. You know, that's a good thing about nowadays. Everybody knows.
Yeah, you're right.
Everybody knows everything. How is that? I'm not getting into it.
There's arguments on both sides forever, no matter what.
Stats on both sides,
Exactly.
too. Stats on both sides of every argument. See? Not everyone. There's certainly some outright winners. We definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
And there's some antiquated thoughts that are potentially given during speeches by people.
Yeah.
And it's like we can't let that sector make us feel any differently about us, but also we can't think that that sector of people is bigger than it actually is. That is always going to exist. Always going to exist. We hope not. We hope we get to a place where no assholes exist.
Amen.
Okay? That's what we're hoping.
I think we need assholes.
No, we're not saying like the good ones.
We're not
saying
we're
bad
talking,
ones
we're
only.
talking like super duper at.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
Like just like people that are just on purpose, you know, seemingly completely against every trend of common sense.
Those trolls.
And
Trolls. Dogs.
Boom. There it is. But you're right. We do need some edge, you know, shit talking.
Yeah.
you
Soldiers.
know, outlaws. Oh, we get that. But we're talking about just like people that are never just going to, you know what I mean?
Out in public.
There's never going to be a whole, we're hoping for it. But we can't let those people
break through.
Think that they're the big, they're not.
No.
Let's just, all right, we're all
Blinders.
Blinders on.
Yeah.
Let's continue to,
Ebbs and
let's
flows.
just keep it, we learned, 2024, that's a real. Okay, all right, great to hear. Never met anybody like that. Never had it, but we know that exists now.
Yep.
Boom.
And now and remember that.
Yeah, more knowledge.
Yeah, it is. That's not every Catholic, right?
No, I'm Catholic. I don't think like that.
Okay, so there's sectors of Catholicism.
Yeah, I mean, who is it? I can't remember. Someone came on. You know, it's like college football fans. There's the lunatic fringe.
Okay,
you know,
of every
in everything. Yeah, exactly.
In everything.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, like you said, you know, like there are probably very few practicing Catholics who are sitting through a mass that's in all Latin. Like that, you know.
That was a part when that was said, and that was, and obviously my wife and I had literally the most important thing that has ever come into my life, my daughter through IVF. So like, there was a lot of things in that speech that was being given at the most Catholic college, I think, that has ever existed to the most Catholic people on earth or whatever.
For sure.
From somebody that we know, obviously Harrison is a great ball kicker. I'm a fan of ball kickers, but like some of the things, like what do we even?
Well, like you said,
we know it exists.
Yeah, antiquated.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But there are definitely people out there like that.
That was wild. Some of the shit, it was like, damn.
Wow.
Still, like, I thought we had enough information.
Guess this is new.
I thought we had enough at this stage to kind of, but then he was like, I still listen to Latin masses. Those are like long, right?
Oh, yeah. They taught that like when my parents were in Catholic school.
We're back next hour with more talk about that. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the commissioner of the NFL. Don't listen to them. Roger, shut your mouth. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us. You're our commissioner. Don't worry about these bums out there. From us to you, we'd like to give you a gift that we know you're a big fan of. Ladies and gentlemen, some peanut M&Ms for our commissioner.
This is why we're on set?
Yep, you can take these with you. You can take them home.
I might just I got a gift for you. What? Oh. You ready?
Yeah, I like that.
With the 222nd pick in the 2009 NFL Draft.
Oh, yeah.
The Indianapolis Colts select Pat McAfee. Hunter, West Virginia.
Hell yeah!
Come on, I'll pick him up.
Thank you, Raj. I'm not going to pick you up because you got that
That's
back.
all right.
Yeah,
That's all
yeah.
right. I got it. There's your card, baby. That's real.
That's awesome.
I've been keeping that for, 15 years?
You had it in your back pocket this whole time. This is cool. Thank you for this. So whenever we say that you have to answer to 31 billionaires, how accurate is that?
32. Well, you're not counting Green Bay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Doesn't count.
Big Pop. There's a Green Bay Packers.
I didn't know he did.
Yeah, no, that was.
I don't actually think that way. I actually think I answer to them. I think I answer to the media partners. I think I answer the players. I think I answer the owners too. The idea for me is to try to keep everyone happy. I always say that my biggest job is not to piss off more than 24 owners in a given day.
How did you know the draft would be awesome if you traveled it, and did you see this happening?
I'd be kidding you if I thought it was going to be as big as it is. We felt like we could be bigger than we were in Radio City. But what happened is Radio City actually put a holiday show in and said, you can't have the draft until June. And that's when we said, we're out of here.
So they
And
kicked you out.
That's when we went on the road.
Well, Taylor Swift, we know.
Well, that's a different kind of influence.
How about, hey, listen, a lot of jokes from
They're booing Taylor Swift.
Yeah, you can't boo.
There it is.
Yeah, you're going to be a part of an album.
Wow.
Do it. Get a little louder. She is going to cook you. A lot of the internet was saying Roger Goodell was sitting at home through the moon about this.
Well, they thought it was part of the script.
Yes, then you went talk to her. There it is.
no,
There it is. Is there a thought of adding another one, maybe adding another bye week, or are we good at 17 right now?
Well, I think we're good at 17 now, but listen, we're looking at how we continue. I'm not a fan of the preseason. I don't think we need three.
Waste of time, right? And energy.
I don't buy it, and I don't think these guys like it either.
Well, that's spend full price for the tickets for those games.
No, they're actually discounted now. So
Thank you for doing that.
I'd rather replace a preseason game with a regular season any day. That's just picking quality, right? If we got to 18-2, that's not an unreasonable thing. The other thing it does, which I thought you were going to, is that ends up on President's Day weekend, which is a 3-day weekend, which makes a Sunday night, and then you have Monday off. So that's
wow.
Now we're cooking.
See,
now we're cooking.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey. What? Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Sport! Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this schedule release Wednesday, May 15th, 2024. Hour 2 starts now. Sports are the greatest. They really are, especially here in Indianapolis, Indiana, as both of our basketball teams are revving up. Yeah, the Pacers took a 30-point ass beating in MSG last night. That's going to happen when Kendrick Perkins is sitting next to Tracy Morgan and Billie Eilish and Spike Lee and then old Buddy Starberry and John Starks are in the game.
Yeah.
They're playing with 7 players a couple of different times. Those guys weren't wearing a uniform. They're on the wood in the... And then you got a ref who wants to be the hero at the Mecca. Okay?
Again.
So obviously that's going to take place, but Friday, when the Pacers host the Knicks in Game 6 of the series, it's going to be a whole different story, just like it was on Mother's Day. Basketball showing up in a big way. So is Caitlin Clark, selling out a building in Connecticut for the first time since 2003 for a Connecticut Sun game.
Yep.
Now, I know there's an entire generation of women's basketball stars that are going to take women's basketball to whole new heights. In a league that is ready and excited for it, is obviously awaiting and prepared with an abundance of talent that the world will fall in love with. But then this dumbass ref calls 2 quick fouls on the only reason everybody is there. Hopefully they're able to figure that out. Hopefully the Fever are able to figure out how they're going to play to become a team that goes from 13-27 next year to 30-10 this year. The Talks Tables here at Boston Corner and at Ty Schmidt. Big win for the Boston Bruins.
Huge win.
Last night.
Huge win.
We are staring down potential extinction of the Boston Bruins from this year's NHL playoffs. And instead, with their backs against the wall, Swayman stands on his head on his dad's birthday. And now we're heading back to Sunrise, pal, with an opportunity to extend. Congrats to the Bees.
Yeah, back to Boston Friday night,
it was in Sunrise last night. I forgot about that. I apologize.
Yeah, in Florida last night, back to Boston on Friday night. And look, this is exactly what we said yesterday. Geeky, first of all. See you later, Bob. Sorry about it. Toe drag, bucket. But, I mean, this is what we said yesterday, okay? Look, down 3-1. If this is a Stanley Cup champion team, Chucky McAvoy, of course, you saw this one coming.
Saw the jersey yesterday.
Look at Bob, bitch. Shut up. Shut up, Bob. But, once again, this is a Stanley Cup champion team. They're destined to come back 3-1. They are destined for Brad Marchand to make his heroic return on Friday night. And then for the Swayman to do what he did in these last 2 minutes, there should have been at least 2 goals from the Florida Panthers. A no-look from Montour. I was even shitting my pants. Swayman, not worried about it whatsoever than this one. I mean, when you got some guy on the doorstep, you're not going 5-hole. You're not going between these legs on my papa's birthday, on Kenny Swayman's birthday.
My fodder.
My fodder? You think I'm going to let a puck go 5-hole on my father's birthday?
I didn't think about how my father's father felt on my father's birthday.
He'd be rolling over in his own grave, whoever Grand Lord Swayman is. But, man.
Grandmon
Swayman. You have to be pumped if you're the Bees. I feel great. I'm hoping I actually have to go back to Boston this weekend. I think there's a chance maybe, I go say hello to the Garden and see the Swayman and Pasta in person. But no, I feel really good. Need to get this one, and then Game 7, anything can happen.
We've been talking about the officials in WNBA, obviously, what happened. Isaac Bennett's his name.
Yep.
Get him out of the tour.
Yep.
Kick him off the tour, Doug.
The worst.
See ya. Can't have it.
Get him out.
And then we talk about Tony Peters and Scott Foster in the NBA. They're running their own game. They have for a long time.
Yeah.
It's a good gimmick. It's a good gimmick.
It is.
It's a good gimmick. We appreciate what you're doing. They're good referees where they need to be.
Sure.
Which is why they've been able to do this for 30 years. The Tony Peters, Scott Peters song is a one that has been played at the same tune for the same amount of time every single year. So we respect them. What we also have been talking about is how the NHL has been treating the Boston Bruins. With some cheap shots potentially to Jaws, knocking guys out, and Marchand up past, and then, not letting Patty Maroon, get involved in the dust-ups whenever the Florida Panthers are trying to make things as dusty as possible. Yeah. And then last night, Bob's way out. What happened last night?
Well, so what happened last night, and all those things you mentioned, that aside,
old school hockey.
Old school hockey, that's part of the game. PK Subban running his mouth about shit, whatever. Okay, I can acknowledge that. I don't think anyone who is a fan of hockey can watch this play and actually say, oh yeah, that makes sense. Bob makes a save, obviously, big save. He doesn't have the puck, and they blow it dead. And the reasoning that the broadcast announced team had was none, actually. When they came back from break, because obviously when the NHL is trying to get one team to advance, they go to break when it's clear that everyone can see, they're trying to rig this game. But once that happens, they go to break from this and then don't talk about it again. They come back with the Sam Bennett cross-check on Coyle. That was a goal. But
air whistle blows it down.
But just no explanation whatsoever. It doesn't make any sense. Obviously, the shot gets tipped, and Panthers fans immediately, the next shot didn't go in. That's not the point. When stuff like that happens and the goalie's scrambling,
way out of net, that
is when stuff happens for the other team. So for this to happen and there to be no explanation was asinine. Obviously, you keep playing puck.
They thought the Bob got hit in the throat, right? Is what happened. Yes. And I guess there is a rule, something about if a goalie's mask gets dislodged, it's supposed to blow it dead.
Yeah, of course.
Player safety, of course.
If the goalie mask gets removed or gets moved, absolutely. Not even a hint of that. Actually, Bob is trying to move back into the net, and instead the refs are just like, no, we'll blow it dead and put you back in there. Don't worry. Let's just move it. We'll have a face-off. You don't have to worry about this at all, Bob.
9-year NFL vet, Florida Panther fan, Darius J. Butler. Obviously, you're on the other side of this, reaping the benefit of the potential stoppage. But I do like player safety. Do you feel as if the world wants you guys to win? Is that because that's kind of what Connor is?
I'm kind of new to the sport.
Is that right?
As Connor mentioned
93,
a couple times. I would have thought that Boston was the bigger draw in this sport, at least. I would think. I don't know, but it still sounds like a lot of bitching, even after a win. Hey, look, Boston came out. They set the tone. They got a win. They were feisty. And I was taught by a great coach up in the Boston area, hey, when you win, You say a little. When you lose, you say a little less. So, congratulations, guys.
Yeah, when you guys win, you've been saying nothing. That's
we
a
ain't
good
been
point.
bitching, though.
I like how you're handling this.
Yeah,
D-Bud, thanks for the professional.
This guy's the worst,
Big
man.
game. Big game 6 coming up.
You're a good representative.
I hope Marchand's back.
brother.
I hope Marchand's back, too.
NHL would want Sunrise, Florida over, one of the biggest cities in the country to be in there.
You were in that city.
Look, you're watching the games. Don't act like I'm some asshole just saying stuff, okay? Yeah, I'm a Bruins fan. Any hockey fan can look at that and say, what the hell is going
but
on?
it's not rigged
okay?
for Florida.
I know it's not rigged. Sports aren't rigged. I don't believe in the script, but you understand what I'm saying. That is asinine bullshit.
Well, what you're trying to point out is, and this is how hockey refs operate. Hockey refs are humans. Yeah. Like they do try to set a little tone. They do makeup calls. Like they will actually say had to. Sorry.
Got to get to with one here.
You're sorry.
We got one later in the game. The second goal. If I were a Panthers fan, you could make the argument that was goal interference.
But I'm saying what you're trying to bring up is like, hey, a lot of things have been skewing one particular way here, Stripes. Okay, even though we need to maybe bring this back the other way, and we hope that's not the case. We just want it to be nice, fair, and square.
Right. Amen.
But I like that we got a game. Well, I like that we got a game 6, and that whenever the Bears were put into a corner, Spumoni.
That's right.
That's right.
The whole time.
What's going to happen? I mean, what happens if Marchand comes back game 6, and then all of a sudden that place just lights up like Zambelli fireworks after a Skeens win?
Is that ever going to happen? I hope so.
I hope so too.
It already did.
Huh?
It already did.
Yeah,
Game 1.
He didn't get the win.
Yeah, the boss. They take care of home ice.
They won, and there was fireworks.
So Skeens appeared, and there was a win.
And there was Zambelli's.
We want a 21 strikeout.
Bingo.
Skeens win.
Yep.
Zambelli 2-hour firework.
Yeah, I agree.
Light that sky up so that all of Pennsylvania can see it. That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah.
And if he does that, we'll donate $1 million to the Gary Sinise Foundation, which is wild. We'll ride alongside of him, $100 for every single strikeout. I can't wait to see how he does. 12-year NFL vet, Pac-Man Jones is here.
Hey, boy, Pac.
Pac-Man, we got a song coming out here in 6 days.
6 days. All the smoke featuring Jody the Breeze.
Hey, we have a music video coming out.
Yes, sir.
Shot in 8K, I think.
Yeah, good, clean.
It is. We got drone footage in this entire thing. We got some bangers coming in. We even got some ATVs, some quads running in there.
Yeah.
You're up on 2 wheels.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go.
Hey.
I just watched that DMX clip when he was in front of 700,000.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, the Rough Riders anthem music video is where I first thought to myself, oh, I need a dirt bike when I grow up, so I can just roll right down the middle of the street. We got a little bit of that in the All the Smoke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of that in All the Smoke music video. Literally, first thing I said to you, I was like, oh, yes, I like what we're doing here. Good luck with that. It's going to crush me.
Hell yeah, Pac.
Joining us now, live from Attica, Ohio, is a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup winner, and the current president of Ohio. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking at a Catholic school near you, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, baby, Hogger.
I'm joking.
Yes, I'm big on that. You know, I love public speaking, of course. Yeah, wherever they'll hire me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's what you've been saying. That's what your card actually says.
Bingo.
That's
AJ Hawk.
my business card.
Wherever you hire me.
Buckeye legend.
Buckeye hero. Buckeye hero.
Hey, Connor can't be too pissed, obviously. The goalie interference situation. I know the great Paul Biznett was online saying, yeah, that was absolutely interference, wasn't it?
Well, Biz Nasty is certainly a guy who does call it.
His comment.
He's not a Leafs fan, and he
It all evens itself out, Con man.
So we will say, as fans of the big rig, Patty Maroon, when these refs were kicking him off the ice, just for like talking, and then there was full face washes and actual punches happen immediately afterwards.
Everybody else.
It's like, hey, hold on a second. Like this guy, that's why he's on this team.
Bingo.
That is literally why he's here. That would be like a ref calling 2 fouls on the person that sold out the fucking arena. You know, like what happened in the WNBA. And we know that officiating is difficult. We understand that. But it does feel as if we are in a new generation, a new era, where there is a lot of, what about me, you know?
Yeah.
Look at me.
Look at me.
Yeah, sure.
What about me, you know? And it might be creeping into the officiating. Who would we be if we didn't point that out and say, hey, can't have it. We wouldn't be journalists, which is what we strive to be every day.
Amen.
That's all we're trying to do.
Yeah, I guess it is very tough to be a referee. I agree. But it is not tough to not call ticky-tack fouls on the superstar of the league. I think that's pretty easy to do, actually.
Yeah, but she's a rookie. Rook-ass rook.
Got to earn it.
You got to pay your dues. Got to pay your dues. You don't have to call ticky-tack fouls. If it's a foul, call the foul. Don't be calling anything else. Come on.
Look at these, AJ. I thought maybe it was a different sport than every other basketball that is played. Didn't even touch.
Oh, my.
Didn't even touch. It's the first foul called, I think. That was literally the first foul called in the game. And then just moments later, what do we got? Oh, both going for the ball. Yep, caught. No, same guy. This piece. I'm not saying it.
Sack of bones.
Yeah, I'm not saying.
First of all, I don't even think
that one.
Yeah, it's
I don't think she
can't
touched
do
her.
it.
Yeah, literally, and it's the first foul called of the season.
Yeah.
I think is that one. So it's like, was old buddy just sitting on his whistle hoping to call something? We need something, or was it aimed at Caitlin Clark? Got the under. Yep.
Yeah.
Welcome to the new league. That's what's hard not to say immediately upon doing it, but there's a lot more problems than just these two calls. Now, did her mindset change? Because she was playing with 2 fouls early. A little
more
Did they have
timid?
to put her on the bench, earlier than anybody would have expected? Yes. Did ratings probably plummet immediately upon her going to the bench?
Yeah.
I would assume so. But hey, gotta call it how you see it, Isaac Bennett. We understand. Gotta call it how you see it.
Got to call what you can't see, what we didn't see. But yeah, hopefully that'll clear itself up moving forward. I think.
I hope.
I'm worried.
Just don't call any ticky-tack fouls. Let the girls play.
He probably got a phone call after the game. I would assume.
No.
If it's a good commissioner,
it's got to be in person. They don't want to put anything.
He makes league calls to league offices.
He does have their number.
He probably made a couple calls too, like, "Hey, you see who called the first foul on Caitlin Clark in her W career? Me. That was me. Did you see it? Did you see? I called it. I got 2 on her early in the first 4 minutes.
Isaac, you're talking about?
Yeah, Isaac calling his buddies.
Definitely. And him talking to the other refs, she thinks she can just come into this league.
Yeah, come on.
I've been reffing in this building since 2003.
You kidding? Yeah. You think all these people are here for you? They know about my back pedal into my side slide down the baseline. People have been talking about it for years.
How many Isaac Bennett jerseys are in this bitch?
All of them underneath those other jerseys, obviously, because I always got their back. These people are here to see my motherfucking ass. That's potentially the thought. There is a bigger conversation to be had, though, about we need to just put the city on Caitlin's back and just say, hey, like you did with Iowa, just do it with Indianapolis.
Go do it.
Go.
Just do it with Indianapolis.
Coach Lisa.
Her and Aaliyah Boston are going to be a great tag team, I think, a great duo. And they're going to figure it out as they go. But Tone Diggs was calling for a firing after one game, AJ. I don't know if you saw it to start.
I did. I did see that, Tone. Yeah. That's a bit aggressive. We want the ref gone and the coach gone after one game yet.
We've only watched one game in this league's history.
We get
Promises were made, heads will roll, AJ. That's how life is.
After one. So how many? Okay,
sports.
yeah, all right. For real though, Tone. After how many games? Let's say they start out 2-12. Then what? Then do you really have to make a move?
2-12.
Whoa.
It ain't gonna be 2-12. We don't need to put that in the universe right now. I just found out they were 13-27 last year on the scoreboard on the screen underneath their name. I said, wait a minute. I didn't know that we had number 1 overall pick. Not a good team.
Yeah.
Now we know. Thank God we got the number 1 overall pick this year. If there was ever a year to go 13-27, it was last year.
Yeah, thank you for doing that, Fever organization. It obviously has it figured out.
See that GM?
We need to have a little bit more faith.
Well, I don't know who the Bears have in week 1 this year, but tell you what, if they get put up a performance like that, they're going to be called for Falusa's head in week 1. I guarantee it.
No.
Well, if the refs throw 4, personal fouls on Caleb Williams in the first quarter.
If they don't let him do a little pizzazz, and they call penalties on him, being competitive, then maybe there will be a little bit more. How about, he throws up that hair. What if
that's his cell?
Has he said Bear Dahn yet?
He said
no, he did Bear Dahn when he got drafted. Bear Dahn.
I heard him singing a little bit. Yeah, he's good. Hey, we're happy for you, Caleb. We'd also like to see Caitlin, let's just not waste this.
Please.
Let's
let her shoot.
Green light
all day.
All day. I want 1 half court a game.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. Hey,
not like a logo like jumper, like a half court runner.
I think she was also trying to be super nice.
They're only 6.5 point dogs.
She's a great passer. She still had a bunch of great passes as well.
That's what I'm
she
saying.
still sets her teammates up. Yeah.
She talked about she only had a couple assists because I think there's dribbles and stuff like that.
Well, and people.
Got to make the shot. Too.
Her over-under was 6.5. Some of us thought that she would pass it a little more last night.
Did you watch the game?
Huh?
Did you watch the game?
Huh?
Okay. So I do appreciate the fact, AJ, that you pointed out that we watched one WNBA game, and this guy didn't even watch. He's calling for it. He just read the stat sheet the next day.
And I bet on it. First WNBA game I've ever bet on. Over 6.5 assists, because I thought, let's not be selfish in the WNBA.
She wasn't selfish. She couldn't get on the damn court because of Bennett, that asshole.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. We'll continue to keep an eye on that. Joining us now is a man who's keeping an eye on everything that's happening in the NFL because his show was back today.
Let's go.
But it had been off, and we all had missed it. Emmy Award winner, ladies and gentlemen, from Good Morning Football, Peter Schrager. Schrags, sorry, we got so locked in on that conversation about...
I've got takes.
Oh, okay, what is it?
Is Christy Sides on the hot seat 1 day in?
Oh, okay, so you know her name. All right, that's crazy. So, Tone Diggs is calling for it. Yeah, that is. And he didn't even watch the game.
Feels like Shregs might be too.
We're learning. Did you watch?
I'm just saying. She was at Iowa lighting it up. She had 10 turnovers yesterday.
Okay, all right. Christy Sides is going to figure it out.
We're Sides guys.
Yes, I am.
Yes, me too.
I am.
I'm one of Sides guys.
Picket line.
I'm more of a Bluter guy myself. I can be a Sides guy, but
I go Bluter too.
Yeah, boom. That's
Pete. No, she's a college coach. Okay, this is the W.
We're talking
Yeah,
about.
though, I would tell Sides this. This ain't the Atlanta Dream, okay? It's the Atlanta Fever, all right?
That's
It's a
right.
different kind of deal.
That's right. Hey, Shregs, I appreciate you unloading all this W shit talk that you've been trying to do for years that nobody would do.
Bottled up.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Shregs, let's talk about what you do know a lot about. The schedule guessing that you've been trying to do has been phenomenal. Obviously, you've been accurate. Just like with the draft, congratulations.
Hell yeah.
Best draft analyst going for, I believe, second one in 3 years, I do believe, if I have it accurately. And then you got people like Jordan Schultz literally just tweeting out games all day. How do people find out what these games are? And when you're guessing these games, are you just trying to sit in the seats of the networks? And how do you feel about the first batch of games that we've learned about? It's kind of open-ended there, but go ahead and run with it.
Yeah, well, now it's open season because the teams have their schedules. So all you need is a source at one of the buildings, and they can give you the tip. So usually today's leaks are pretty accurate. But leading up to yesterday, everyone was guessing. And some of the networks knew because they had to announce it on their upfronts. But even up to this morning, I don't think everyone knew the Netflix deal was a done deal as far as Christmas Day games go. But now each of the teams has their schedule. Now the league has gone above and beyond to try to protect that information. If I'm not mistaken, every schedule that was sent out over any electronic communication is watermarked with the email that it's sent to. So they can't really send it out, or you're getting caught leaking it, and then there's great repercussions. So the NFL would love to keep this under lock and key until 8 p.m. Eastern, but the teams now know, and by that point, all it takes is a phone call to a Jordan Schultz or whoever, and it's usually pretty accurate. But the NFL would love to make tonight's 8 p.m. Eastern announcement a giant event, and they're going to do a good enough job because there's still enough games that have not been announced yet.
Go ahead, AJ.
Shregs, speaking of that Netflix deal, what with 2 games on Christmas Day are going to be streamed live on Netflix? Is it right? They paid upwards of $150 million per game. Is that correct?
I don't know the number, but I know it's a lot. And what that tells me is a couple things. One, we've got a new partner in town, and they always say it's broadcast partners. Well, obviously ESPN and ABC are one. I work for Fox. They're one. CBS, now Amazon, NBC. Now you got Netflix into the pool as well. You also have to think they got a pretty good game there. Now, last year on Christmas, we saw a couple games. Giants, Eagles. We saw Raiders versus Chiefs. I would think that if you're paying, upwards to $300 million for games, you're going to get a premier matchup. I would think Kansas City has to be a part of that. I honestly do not know that, but I would assume that they're going to give them the Chiefs as the defending Super Bowl champions. Who the opponent is, we'll see. And then what the other game is and whoever else, we don't know. As far as Kansas City goes, I'm speculating.
It has been reported on the internet now.
Has it been?
It's
what are they saying?
Ravens at Texans and Chiefs at Steelers, I believe, are the Christmas Day games.
Okay, that has been reported on the internet. Has not been. We don't know if it's
all seems like those are two awesome matchups on December 25th. If those are it, so they're paying for that. What's curious to me is why the NFL went with them as opposed to an Amazon, who I'm sure is willing to spend, or CBS or Fox. And what I've been told by sources is this is a big international play. Like Netflix has international rights to the NFL. So this is kind of fitting two boxes. One, they think there's a younger demographic on Netflix. They also think there might be an international demographic that we don't hit on the broadcast cable networks. But, it's another player in town, and Netflix is here now. And after the success of the quarterback and the Brady roast, I think they're going to be figures in the NFL moving forward.
Yeah, 270 million worldwide subscribers, Netflix, I believe, was the number that I heard from sources this morning as well. And you hear people complaining about, like the having to pay for a new thing. I think, no offense to those who don't have a Netflix subscription, I think if you were to not watch on Christmas, I don't know if it'll be noticed. The numbers are going to be bananas for these games. I mean, they are going to be absolute bananas. And some people think that the NFL is kind of leaving them behind or whatever, because you're making me have to pay for these other things, I'm paying more than like I am for cable and everything. It's like at this stage of the game, that's what it is, though. Yeah. For almost any, I want to watch this movie. Well, I got to download this app, and I got to be for a month subscriber for this just to watch this one movie. It's kind of how the new world is. So we don't love it. I'm not saying it's good.
Same with like a stand-up special. Like if I want to see Nate Bargatze's new stand-up special, where do I find it? It's on one of the streamers. It's not on Comedy Central anymore. It's going to be on one of the streamers. So
it sucks, but it's just reality.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Welcome to the modern world.
Yeah.
If you don't have Netflix, all right, like everyone in the world has it at this point.
270 million people. I don't know what the goal is.
Yeah, well, if you don't have
Netflix, your
Netflix,
cousin Greg,
it's not $50 to watch one NFL game. That's not what it is.
Okay,
I would add, what's curious about it though is we know the broadcast crews for all these networks, and Amazon had NBC assisting with their first year and has still a partner in that, Freddie Godelli's still involved with Amazon, who's like an icon in the industry. Fox used to do Thursday Night Football for NFL Network. CBS did the international games this year. Netflix has never done a football. We don't know who their pregame crew is. Ooh. We don't know who the halftime crew is. Is Bert Kreischer going to be on with the guys from Squid Game?
Please. I hope not. Yes. Dude, Trace, thank you. Yes. Bert, boom, done.
They've done a couple live events.
One game.
Let's think about this for a second.
Okay. And Kreischer.
Come on.
What do you mean, Ty?
2 Bears, 2 games.
Think about
perhaps.
So just got announced today. I don't think we need to rush in. Let's take a beat and kind of figure out what we want to do with the packaging.
The machine, machine gear.
I think there's going to be. I think there is a chance for incredible entertainment opportunity, though, here with Netflix. And if you look back to your point about Netflix going to be just fine in the live stuff, they did that stand-up special with
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock.
There it is, Chris Rock. And good. I think everybody.
Golf event.
They did the golf. They did a tennis thing.
Mm-hmm. They did the Bachelorette thing, like live reunion.
Love is
thing.
Blind.
Yeah, whatever.
There it is. They did the Groat, obviously, live, which went over very well. And then they also just spent $5 billion on WWE's Monday Night Raw for the next 5. So I do believe if you're potentially a live show, in the sports world.
Okay.
There is a new player in town who has a shit ton of money. Who also has 270 million worldwide subscribers. So if you're trying to take your show on the road or, sell out stadiums in Germany or sell out stadiums in Brazil or sell out stadiums maybe in Australia or wherever the hell you would like to sell stadiums, it's not a bad partner to do business with. So we would like to say, just from us to Netflix, thank you for getting involved in sports.
That's right. Yeah, Netflix.
We appreciate it. That's good news for the growth of sport as a whole, but also the growth of the game worldwide. It should be amazing. Let's talk about the worldwide games. So there's enough jokes to be said whenever I ask this particular question. What did Germany do?
Sure.
This game. Giants, yep. I know there's a lot of answers.
Sweet game.
Within the last 100 years, there is, which I don't think a lot of people are learning about anymore, seemingly.
No.
Which we should bring back into maybe.
Should we change the show to that? Because we can have a whole discussion.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, that should be something that is at least discussed at some point, it feels like, with this next generation. But, Germany has proven to be massive NFL fans. I think there was 1.3 million people, depending upon when you got a screenshot of the queue for people to buy tickets to last year's games, which were the first ones ever there. So this year it's the New York Football Giants, who have a Hard Knocks offseason. We're going to learn more about them
Pumped.
than ever before. They're going to grow stars. Everybody's going to watch it. And then the Carolina Panthers. Now, when I put out the tweet, Germany deserved a better game. There was a lot of jokes that came. A lot of jokes that came.
Sure.
Okay, and I should have expected that. And I'm sure, the Germans over there understand that that's going to be coming forever. Like, that is how that's going to work. But then I saw Panthers fans mad that I said that. And then I didn't see any Giants fans mad. So they all assumed that I was talking shit about the Panthers being the game in Germany. It's not just them, it's both teams involved.
Take
So I just thought if you have a country that is allegedly a majority of the people that travel to London as well. That is what we've been told by people that have gone to the London games. They say a lot of the people we run into and encounter at these NFL events and games in London live in Germany, whether it's military or the German people who have a massive NFL media market over there with Bjorn Werner and
Sebastian
Magnus, was it Magnus Hunt? Who was it? It was another guy.
Anyways, they're running football bromance, football bromance show. They're selling out arenas over there.
Mm-hmm.
This is an NFL podcast. It's like I would have thought that we would have potentially, as an NFL, gave them one, but then who knows what any of these games are going to be like, which is why it's so hard to project these types of things. Do you have any thoughts on the international games and how it's headed and everything?
2 years ago, I was at that first Germany game in Munich, and NFL Network sent all of us, and we did like a whole week leading up to it. And I was blown away, not only by the amount of fans, but also the amount of educated fans. So like that's a real market. It is. And Munich is going to bring it again. And this is where we had the Country Roads being sung with Tom Brady. You look at the Giants and the Panthers. The Panthers are obviously a newer franchise. They don't have the same fan base as the Giants, but the Giants are going all in on like a marketing push this year for their 100th year as a franchise. So you have the in-season, off-season Hard Knocks, which I'm still getting my head around. It's basically from January to July. It's all their free agent moves, draft moves, combine. That's what's going to be talked about. So that's going to be a team people are buzzing about. And then, of course, you have the 100th year where the Giants are rolling out all sorts of different initiatives where it's going to be the top 100 Giants of all time, a new patch on the uniform. So, like, this is a big year for the Giants, and they have 100 years of history where whether or not they're a Super Bowl contender, there is a certain feel about the Giants as a franchise going back 100 years that now they're finally playing in Germany. They're also 3-0 all-time in international games. Their latest victory being over Aaron Rodgers and the Packers a couple of years ago in a surprise game in 2022 in London.
Yeah, so I understand. You never know, I guess. You literally have no idea what teams are going to be great, what aren't going to be great. Giants have a massive fan base. Carolina Panthers fan base, although they didn't show up to a lot of games last year because they were about done with all the shit. They are a passionate group they'll get behind if Bryce Young's able to go. Let's talk about something going on with you, Shregs. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Shregs, this is a bit of an aside, and I haven't checked recently. I think last time I looked, it was at 7, but I'm just curious, how many laptops do you have left to give away right now on Twitter?
It's crazy. It's crazy. I have been hacked more than any adult film star you could ever imagine. I just get hacked all day on Twitter. And I'm giving out free iMacs, apparently. So this time I got hacked this morning. We're on, is that what it's called, an iMac? I don't even know. So we're on this morning.
MacBook Pros, I believe.
MacBook Pros.
That's what you're
Today
dealing
I'm giving out, but they're signed this time, apparently. So if someone wants a signed MacBook Pro, no, it's unbelievable. I get hacked every week.
You do? What happened, Shregs? What happened? What do you? Like,
I don't know what I'm doing.
Obviously, everybody sees what happens to you, and that's like the most public. Your passwords suck, dude.
I was going to say
all time.
First things first, maybe change your password from NFL football to something
But
else.
like 1, 2, 3, 4 is such a good password. I'll never forget it.
That is all. I just want to let you know it sucks. It's happening. Obviously, we're at a stage in the internet
I'm at
where
this point, though, Pat, literally, like, today it happened. I'm just like, white flag. Like, all right.
Mail it in. Keep giving them away.
Keep hacking. Nail it in.
Yeah.
What was your latest password, Shregs? Can you tell us? Can you tell us the one that got hacked?
Yeah. That was it. The problem is, like, everyone's like, go, you got to do, like, 2 something authentication. I don't even know what email it's linked to anymore. So
Peter. The password to the email is wrong.
We're screwed.
And they need the backup, and they say, well, we'll send a 4-digit code to a phone number. Don't have that number anymore.
No.
That
And
number's
that's in, like, Azerbaijan or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyone watching works if anyone works for Twitter or X, I mean,
they don't deal with us ever. I mean, our videos,
they don't deal with me.
Dude, our
like,
videos,
who do I contact?
Our videos just get stolen by other people, and then they make an entire business out of stealing everybody's videos, and nobody says anything.
Nope.
And then we say, hey, this is our shit, and then we're told, well,
prove it.
Fill out some paperwork. It's like,
what?
That's my
crazy
that's
part
my
is I got
that's my
I got like
fucking
100
favorite.
I
That's
got
literally
like 100 messages from people like in my life that are like real functioning human beings being like, so dude, like about the MacBook.
No way. No way, Shrakes.
Idiots.
No way, Shrakes.
No.
I was just about to say,
Idiots.
we're at a stage of internet knowledge now where everybody sees your tweet go out, and there isn't a thought of like, oh, this guy is having hard times. He's going on TV. He's selling MacBook. This guy's, we don't think that. Literally just think that your passwords suck. Or we think, man, somebody's pissed off at Shrakes.
Someone's angry at me. They
Shrakes.
didn't like my mock schedule.
It was a good one, though. Hey, your mock schedule's been great.
Yeah.
Your mock schedule's been great. Connor has a question for you, Shrake.
Yeah, Shrakes, there was a report from Connor Hughes that the New York Jets were thinking about hiring somebody above Nathaniel Hackett, essentially demoting him. Is that true? And then also part of the story was that Rodgers was the one that completely shut it down. Have you heard that same thing, or is this just off-season fodder? Let's make some stuff up.
Oh, I wouldn't question Connor. He's pretty plugged in, but I haven't heard that. And from what I gather, this has actually been a really good offseason, obviously, for every team. They talk like it's the greatest, but Rodgers getting back to rehabbing where he's at, and the Jets offense adding some offensive line. Like I haven't heard they were looking to bring in. I would be curious to see what that means, because every team always considers some of these guys, a Tom Moore type or a Pete Carmichael type, guys that have been around who could be offensive consultants that could help. But I don't think anyone's usurping Hackett, and that certainly wasn't an initiative this offseason from the Jets front office, from what I gather.
Usurping.
Is that word.
Is that what you said there?
Yeah, it's a good word.
Yeah, you bequeathed that one upon us, and then it just kind of sat with me for a couple of seconds, and then I said, shit, that's a brand new one. That's a big brain one. Tone has a question for you, Shrake.
Yeah, Shrakes, have you guys at Fox before the season had your big team meeting yet, and was it super awkward between Tom and Greg Olson?
No, so that's in July. We have this great company offsite, and we haven't had it yet. But I've spoken to, I don't know Brady at all, but I've spoken to Olsen, and he's super engaged and like ready to go, and has handled this like a pro. So I'd be curious to follow that as well. But from all things I gathered, Brady's been really upfront and really complimentary of Greg, and then Greg has handled this like a true pro. So hopefully that continues, but no fireworks yet, if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, we definitely are. And no, I'm joking. We love Greg. And
but how about Christie's sides? I mean, if you got the fever and you got all this hype,
I'm on side.
Draw a play up.
I love Christie's sides.
I am on side.
Yeah, too.
Yep, me too.
I believe you,
But you better start winning, because guess what, Coach?
This is game
Coach
one.
Bluter's sitting out there.
One game.
We
lose to Connecticut's son.
Bluter had to get used to Caitlin too. She had to
Yeah,
change
but you know what
things
she
up.
said? She said, hey, I need to change my coaching style to kind of benefit Caitlin.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Sides, and her first thing was like, we got to get her to play a little differently. She's got to kind of learn how to.
Oh man.
Hey, that ain't how this works. Okay, Coach Sides? Come on.
It's not
Let's
about
go.
the Jimmies and Joes. It's about the X's and O's. That's Coach Sides' slogan.
Yeah, but they're flying planes now.
She came in with that.
Good point. Not in
What the
basketball.
hell?
There's a lot going on. We need 50 shots a game.
Yeah,
Yes.
at least. Per quarter, maybe.
Oh, dude, we are the greatest WNBA show of all time.
Yeah.
WNBA people. Like,
Hey,
when we start covering the NHL, hockey people are like, thank God a show's covering hockey. Thank God for doing that. It's been very cool to feel the love from the hockey community. The Vancouver folks, the Cougar.
The Cougar.
They don't love
Tough night.
They don't love that we tough night. They were so close. Minute 40, they're back in that thing. Winner. Just a minute later. Sorry about it. But in Edmonton, obviously, it's crazy. But like us talking about WNBA, I'll be excited to see how long WNBA fans are like. These guys need to stop talking. WNBA.
I mean, probably when we kind of bring up the idea, what do we need to give up for Becky Hammond here? Do we need to trade our next 10 first-round picks, because they do that in the
John
NBA?
Gruden.
No, but what's that?
Whoa. I don't
The
think
John Gruden trade.
I don't think the Fever are bringing in Gruden straight.
Take it easy, Shrek. Jeez.
I don't think he's a big basketball guy.
He's carrying water for him.
It's Mill Jackson, maybe.
His computer got hacked too.
Yeah.
I don't think it did, actually. No hacks there.
His password was actually too difficult. It was only him. Anyways, Shregs, any news about the break here? Anything? Are we in a dead time right now?
We're getting leaked stuff about the schedule, obviously, all day today. But in the next couple of days, you're going to get rookie mini camps. You're going to get some stuff. But I don't think you're getting any major scoops. There's a league meeting May 22nd, which usually has some league wide finance and initiatives. But I don't see any crazy news coming. Hopefully not. Knock on wood over the next couple of days, NFL wise.
Go ahead, AJ.
Shregs, is there a team right now that may be flying under the radar you think is going to surprise some people and kind of jump out and be an elite contender?
Yeah, there's a few teams that have new coaches that I think are really intriguing. Like I look at Seattle, and it's like Pete Carroll had all these years, and they added Mike McDonald, who's this young upstart coach, obviously, and he brings in the offensive coordinator from the University of Washington. Now, Seattle missed the playoffs last year. Seattle has a young, good roster. Their defense was atrocious last year. It's like, you bring in Mike McDonald, a defensive coach. Is that this year's team that makes the leap and says we're good? Now, everyone's going to pick the Houston Texans as like your team. Everyone's going to say, well, wait, the Packers, they knocked on the door and the Lions were right
Well
there.
said, sure.
But I always look at those teams, new coaches, teams that like the Houston Texans last year who added DeMeco Ryans, got a little fresh blood and fresh life. But like Tennessee with Brian Callahan, like what are they going to look like? Now they have an offensive coach. It's like with the quarterback Levis, and they could do it. So Seattle and Tennessee are my sneaky teams that literally no one's talking about, who I think did a really good job this offseason.
I saw Tatum, right? That's his name, tackle from Alabama that went to Tennessee.
J.C. Latham.
Latham. There it is, Latham. I saw him moving up.
Holy hell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He is massive.
And then
they took the kid Sweat, who I think is like 360 out of Texas.
A lot of man meat.
So they went just big.
And did you see Callahan, the old man Callahan, offensive line coach, in the back of that Latham video? Hands in like hoodie pocket, like, yeah, this is what we
got one.
Yeah,
I think we got one.
That's exactly the thought. It's like Tennessee Titans were all very flustered by with the Vrabel move. And then all of a sudden, they start piecing it together. It's like, oh, they got some weapons. They got some meat. If Levis is a guy. Yeah, if Levis is a guy, okay. The Titans all of a sudden.
They stole Calvin Ridley. Like the Jaguars thought Calvin Ridley was coming back. They were all excited. And then the Titans stole him in free agency, and to a point where you take him from a division rival. That's a guy who has 100 catches. You put him with DeAndre Hopkins. Like, you add in Latham, you add in some other player.
Pollard.
Pollard at running back. They got quietly better, and I know Tennessee Titans aren't going to be the start of my show, Good Morning Football, or ESPN's morning shows anytime soon, because they're not a big market. But you try to circle those teams where, all right, quiet, under the radar. Pac-Man once played for them. Okay, there we go.
High draft pick in the history.
6th overall, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Jeff Fisher knew. He said, I'm playing this guy special teams, defense, and offense.
He's going to be commissioner.
Down here. Jeff Fisher?
Yep. Saw him.
Yeah.
I hope.
Arena League, I said.
Commissioner of the Arena League.
Of the Arena League.
Oh, okay.
Get him to the big boy league.
Is he going to make sure that the
Bills are paid.
uprights are actually?
Yep.
They had uprights that were falling.
Yeah, tilted.
Games were being played with the uprights. Kicking off the net is a big part of the whole game.
It is. Well, it's because of AB. AB screwed up that net.
No, I don't think that was AB's Arena League. He was
the Empire.
It was AB's evil twin that owned that team.
Who's that?
Oh
yeah.
If I could pull the name.
It wasn't AB. I remember.
AB the own team.
Yeah. No,
well,
he had
the Empire, the Albany team.
Hey, his podcast. I had Tyreek Hill on the podcast last week. Antonio Brown. I do not saw a post from Antonio Brown this morning supporting Caitlin Clark, telling everybody they need to relax.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, we're talking full.
I saw one yesterday from him too.
About Caitlin Clark?
Yeah.
Was that AI?
It was an AI photo, yes, that he tweeted out.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I mean, AB84.
I don't follow AB at the moment.
Yeah. Well,
it'll get to your algo. I mean, it is. They're calling it a generational run. It's certainly wide open. It is. It is wide open in there. You're talking about things happening that we didn't expect, though. You know, like Good Morning Football just getting moved to the West Coast is a big deal. D-Butt has a nice sentimental question.
Yeah, I know so many moments, so many segments. Is there a favorite of yours, Shregs, that stands out from the NYC era? And do you have any breaking news as far as what's next with Good Morning Football, as far as going to the other coast?
Well, the show is going to be back in July for training camps, and I think we'll be having a big presence on every NFL training camp as we have all these reporters that are going to be out there. And I'll be in hopefully LA for the start of this thing, but we're going to see if it's going to be a remote deal or hybrid or whatever. But as of right now, I can't tell you much more on the plans as we're still figuring it all out. But I hope to get the show.
Staple, every facility, every morning.
Every morning.
You know it. I mean, we know that. We know. We hope everyone knows that. It's in the buildings.
Can't watch anything else.
Yeah, it's in the buildings. The NFL puts it in the buildings.
Yeah,
so we are
it's a good show.
being watched.
Yeah.
But it really means a lot when I hear that you guys are watching too, which is cool. But as far as a favorite moment, I just have always gotten along with my co-hosts. That's what I miss most. And the current rendition of it with McCourty and Kyle and Jamie, and then with Kay and Nate before that. And Will Silva was our news guy. But Darius, like, you would come in, like, we had so many friends, just people that would pop in and be on the show. And like, it's just, I miss that camaraderie. And when New York was a cool spot, people would come visit and then be able to drop in, and so many celebrity guests and stuff. So I miss that stuff. I specifically, have a million memories, but for now, it's the train keeps on moving. The NFL just keeps on rolling as we see our hysteria over the schedule release. No one's crying about Good Morning Football moving to LA.
No. Hey, we're bummed out.
Yeah.
We saw it back on this morning. We thought that was great. We enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was cool.
Kyle Brand, a good haircut.
You did.
Yeah. I miss him and
He looks
Kyle on
good.
Kaylee Hartung
Wall
was on
Street.
there.
Wall Street.
Yeah, Wall Street.
That was my
Yeah.
favorite.
Me and Kyle, we get a little silly. That was when we knew that the NFL Network bosses are out in LA. They weren't up early enough to tell us not to do it, so we'd get away with a little talk on Wall Street, and then we'd have to say, okay, give it a month, and then come back with the Wall Streeters and go absolutely bonkers again, and it became a crowd favorite. So we like that one. I do want to just hit on something from yesterday's show real quick, if I can have 1 minute. Brian Windhorst came out on your show and talked about the Steak and Shake being closed down. I'm going to tell you a story. 2019, I was working the Combine, and we get done with the drills around midnight. 1 a.m., everyone goes back to the hotel, and I'm a fat boy at heart, and I was still hungry, and everything else was closed, and I walk across the street from our hotel to the Steak and Shake, and I have a burger and a banana milkshake at 1:30 in the morning, and I'm sitting there alone in the Steak and Shake, one of the more depressing scenes of my life, and in walks two silhouettes, one a little rounder than the other, one with a buzz cut, with smiles, ear to ear. Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo came strolling in at 1:30 in the morning, and the same exact thing. They sat with me. I actually spilled a milkshake all over Andy Reid. He still busts my balls about it all the time. And then this past year, we get done with the drills, and I'm like, you know what?
Hell yeah.
All right, I'm gonna break the. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go get my Steak and Shake. I walked up there, closed.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm with Windy. It was. I know you're influential there in that downtown Indianapolis market. What can we do? I don't even know. Is the Dick's Last Resort even there? I think I missed that too.
It's there. It's still there. You got to remember though, like COVID shut down the city. Okay, then there was riots in the city that almost burned the city. Like during COVID, like as a town that is hospitality is the biggest business. Like hosting events and conventions and everything. That is what Indianapolis does. It's called Hoosier Hospitality. It's like a real thing. We host the biggest live sporting event every single year here in the world. 300,000 people will come for the Indy 500. Everything's kind of set to do that. So whenever the world shuts down, no events are allowed to be had for a long time. And there was some very strict rules too in Indianapolis as opposed to the rest of Indiana. So the rest of Indiana kind of, obviously not at the beginning, but as things opened up, you had malls and plazas and things you could do. Downtown Indianapolis was still very much hey, nothing is allowed to go. So I thought the city was going to be in trouble, legitimately. I thought there was going to be a tough rebound. I thought it was going to be very, very difficult. But I think a lot of things potentially changed during that time. And now it does feel like the city is coming back in a big way. Conventions are happening. Obviously, sports are happening. Bars are blossoming. And it's of course, this city was going to bounce back faster than I expected because that's literally what this city has done forever. But I believe the shutdown is due in part of some things that were happening when the city was shut down. Some crime. I guess there was some real shit that was happening. Yeah, I got a lot of messages from people that were like, hey, that wasn't a place you're just hanging outside there for a few years. Yeah. And the entire thing. But the city's back. So with that,
24 hours.
Keep it open.
Yeah, boom. Exactly. Open the doors.
We need milkshake spilled on Andy Reid.
That's right. I mean, that's it. Don't we all?
Hey, the biggest sign that the city's back, we will know. We will know exactly when it is.
Exactly.
Is when that opens up. All right, Trakes. We appreciate the hell out of you, buddy. Have a great one. When are you guys back on TV?
July. So I'll hopefully come on your show and do some other stuff. We'll be around.
Nice.
But
training camp.
15 weeks.
Training camps, bro. I'm gonna do my best to be as.
One-off?
They had a one-off today.
The schedule release.
But if the NFL schedule release is the last thing until training.
It is.
Truly.
Okay.
We are fucked.
How many days we got?
You got the NBA playoffs, bro. You're good.
I love that. It's coming, though. I mean,
You're good.
NHL is buzzing, Strags.
Yep, but we're enjoying the hell out of it.
And baseball.
It's every night right now, but then
Hey, did you get invited to that Michael Rubin white party?
Me? No, that's conversation. No, yeah.
Did he?
Did he or
Did-
did he?
did he or
Who
did
did
you?
you?
Did Shregs ever-
You.
Shregs ever get to those
All the influencers are invited.
Look,
No,
maybe he
no.
did, maybe he didn't.
Well, did he?
I don't know. Did he?
Roger said he'd been to some weird parties, but not a Diddy party.
Who said that?
Aaron Rodgers on Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, but
He's on it for 2 hours, I heard.
Rogers is also locked in because he hasn't jerked his Gergen in 15 years.
Doesn't
Tommy.
watch porn. I heard
So
that. I
don't
saw that.
worry.
Saw that.
All that
Don't you even
weird
worry.
shit.
Yeah.
All right, Shregs, we appreciate the hell out of you, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Schrager, Emmy Award winner.
Love you.
Yeah, you too, dude.
Phew.
2 hours in that kitchen.
I haven't heard it all. I've only seen a couple clips. I'm gonna have to listen to it all.
You're in it.
Yeah.
You're in it, actually.
I'm in it. Doing what? What do
I think
what do
you
say
get
about
mentioned,
me?
I do
Yeah,
He
believe.
mentioned your
shout out.
porn addiction.
Yeah.
That's maybe the reason why he doesn't watch. Yeah.
I didn't know that was the tie-in.
It'd be awesome.
Said
We
he's
told
been to
Tucker
some
that.
weird parties at AJ Hawk's birthday. That's what he said.
In D.C.
Uh-huh.
That's crazy. I saw they
Wonder
were,
how Tucker handled that.
I saw they were sitting at Tucker's dining room table, I do believe, with an antler chandelier right above it.
Sick.
Those are sweet.
That cabin looks sweet.
I saw the beginning of it, the beginning clip of it. I didn't know. 2 hours on X is a long time. That's a long time.
It's a good watch. It's a good watch.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's
Probably done numbers, I would assume.
Yeah. Well, the first one Tucker did 80-some million or something like that in the first 2 days.
Yeah.
It was rather insane. I think Elon's a big supporter of as many interviews as possible. Whatever you could do for sure. But I saw Tucker said he wanted to do the interview at his dining room table because he was sick of being in his studio. And Aaron, who had been there for 24 hours, I think he had dinner there last night, he was like, studio's right there. Aaron pointed at it. He goes, I feel like I've been in the studio my whole life. And he just they read a question and I'm like, I bet those people that do that, like the new
That style.
like that style,
Yeah.
they do spend so much, the buzz of just the buzzing sound of cameras, the lighting. Just, like they probably feel like they've spent a lot of time in those rooms. Him moving 10 feet seemingly. Oh,
All the
so much
difference.
better.
Yeah, changed his life.
All right, joining us now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited to hear what comes from those conversations.
Yeah.
A lot of football guys giving speeches. A lot of stuff happening. There's a tour lot, AJ. A lot. I mean, that was number 2 trend. Yeah. Number 2 trend, number 3 trend. And then Caitlin Clark was getting screwed over by the ref.
Isaac.
I don't like that. Isaac Barnett is his name.
Oh, okay.
Not Isaac Bennett.
Wow. Don't matter because we won't see him reffing a game.
Relation to
Speaking of Barnetts, joining us now is a member of the Tour Junkies, a Junkyard Dog podcast that talks about gambling on golf. And of course, we have a major starting tomorrow here on ESPN, the PGA Championship. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, DB.
Yeah, DB.
How we doing, boys? Thanks for having me. Good to see you again, Pat, AJ, my hammer Dahn, guys.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I guess maybe Evan Fox, who gave me that fucking name.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. So this guy,
DB.
Junkyard Dog, DB, already getting censored by Dick Good about 7 seconds into his return.
Oh, I just heard you say it. I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah, we're the same people on this show, you and me. Let's. You can do whatever you want, dude. I don't care. I legitimately don't. This is Dick Good. Dick Good on the other end, who's has a team of censorers. They're the best in the world, I've heard.
Amen.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard they're the best in the world. So you let it fly, brother. Whatever makes you comfortable, because we need you to give us knowledge. Obviously, you study the game. You're a part of the game. You cover the game. And right now, it feels like we got guys that are playing very good golf at the top, which means our leaderboard for the entire PGA Championship weekend should be phenomenal. I want to ask you about the number 2 odds there, Rory McIlroy. So we know in 2014, this man has a massive public breakup. He would then go on to win the PGA Championship at Valhalla and then also become best golfer in world by a wide margin. That was when the Rory McIlroy is going to be the next one conversation really went. Now here we sit 10 years later, 2024, massively public breakup the same week as the PGA Championship. We should expect him to win again at Valhalla, the PGA Championship, and up his game to be the number 1 guy over Scotty, or how should we be viewing this?
Well, I've been a guy who has not been a Rory buyer in majors probably since Valhalla. I've saved a lot of units for myself and hopefully others out there at home. And last week I said this on our show. I said, I could see Rory winning Wells Fargo. I still don't see it happening at Valhalla. But boys, I know this is going to come as a shock. I think I even heard Gump talking about this yesterday on Hammer Dahn, that he didn't think that this would come out of my mouth. But I think Rory McIlroy is 100% live to win Valhalla this week and get it going and get it off his back.
Okay.
He was dominant at Wells Fargo. It's not, now Xander Schauffele makes a habit of laying down and being a house cat in front of everybody when everybody starts playing good around him. But to win by five, doubling the last hole, cruising past Xander, as dominant as he did, and Quail Hollow is a golf course that's very similar to this. Valhalla is going to play a little soft. There's rain coming. They got these new Zoysia fairways, which if you've never played on Zoysia, it's beautiful, Pat. The ball sits up on a teat. Everything plays to Rory's hand here. So to me, Rory is the play up top at 7-1, and I'm actually buying for the first time in a major in God knows how long.
That's great to hear. Obviously, you echoing the same sentiment as us. We'll be back tomorrow on No, we won't. We'll see you Monday, actually. Goodbye. All right. Yeah, well, I forgot we're off next 2 days because of the PGA Championship.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Because of what was the grass?
Zoysia, Pat. Zoysia. Y'all don't have Zoysia there in the par 3 hole that behind the studio?
No, I think we got Kentucky bluegrass out here.
Concrete.
Yeah, I think we got a little bit more blue.
I bet AJ's got Zoysia at his house probably.
No doubt.
No, we do not. Some Kentucky bluegrass with some fescue, some rye. It's all mixed.
Okay.
Oh, a couple rye.
Some rye, okay.
Mixing, yeah. Some rosemary out here.
There we go.
I know Pac-Man probably doesn't have any Zoysia. He uses
He's
a
on a
different type of
course.
grass.
He lives on a course.
Yeah, it's a different kind of green where I'm at.
Hey, the course you live on, though, looks very nice.
Oh, it is nice.
Yeah, very, very nice. All right, let's get back to the PGA Championship here, DB. So we like Rory a lot. Now, there's a couple others that we would like to see play golf for like the first or second time this year because they play for another tour. Tone's got a question for you.
Yeah, Rombo does play for Liv, but he's still talking as if he is a PGA Tour member, or he's saying he feels like he's a PGA Tour member, and that's ruffled some feathers. And I don't know where Rom's head is at. How do you feel about Rom going into this? Because it feels like he's not happy on the Liv. It just feels like he's not the same guy. He's not. He's sad. He's sad all the time. He's sad doing interviews, wishing he was still on the PGA Tour.
I think there's probably something to that there, Tone. I think he's probably in that Brooks camp where he's glad he got the bag. He's doing his thing, but if he wins, everybody's like, "Oh, Rahm hasn't won on Liv yet. He should be winning on Liv." I think he's top 10 to every event. I think if we see Rahm and Brooks, who are just killers and they're major champion killers, like I think if we see them win on Liv, they probably did it on accident. Like they played and they looked around and nobody caught them, but they show up at majors and they're ready to kill and eat. And I actually really like Rahm this week at 18-1 for Jon Rahm in this field. And this place is going to suit him well too. I mean, there's so many good players up top coming into top form right here that all fit Valhalla perfectly. So I'm in on Rahm. Like my card is probably going to go Rory, then Rahm, then one more guy right there, also on Liv, named Bryson DeChambeau. This place sets up nicely for him.
Oh, DeChambeau, is he still the long ball hitter that we obviously learned?
I mean he shed some lbs. He looks great actually. I mean he looks fit as he could be. But he still absolutely flushes it off the tee. This place is going to be perfect for him. And with the soft conditions, what you're going to get is around the green play is not going to matter as much. See, I tried to tell the Hammer Dahn gang this at Masters because they were wanting to sell me on Bryson winning the Masters. Bryson can't win the Masters until he learns how to freaking chip.
Okay.
So out here, when you have this soft grass, these guys are going to be peppering the greens. And when the greens are soft, they're not going to be bouncing. You're going to have less around the green issues. That's better for Bryson. So Valhalla sets up perfect for him too. And I think right now is he he's still 25-1 on ESPN.
Okay, 25-1, maybe a little bit of a sneaky.
Sprinkle perhaps
on the DeChambeau, bro.
Yeah.
I would like to see him win.
Sure.
Just because he is one of one.
Yeah.
I would like to see him have good day, set himself up for contention, then a not so great day, and then the clips coming from the driving range of him trying to figure it the fuck
in
out.
the dark.
You seen his
In
club?
the dark.
He's got the super duper clubs that he's paid an extra.
It's 3D printed.
3D printed.
Yeah.
Yep. A little bump in him.
Is he using the John Hamm hammer? Is that the?
Oh God, the hammer.
Is that what
Know
he?
about that?
Do I know that guy? What's his name?
Both of them.
Max Ham? John Hamm?
John Hamaconda, yeah.
No, I'm not talking about the
Hamaconda.
actor's
No.
penis. I'm talking
He
about.
had like the
I'm talking about that driver, the Ham, Jack Ham, John Ham.
Jack Ham.
John
yeah, he had
Hamm's
the
wiener.
blonde hair.
No, I'm not.
AJ.
I'm not talking about
talking
Thor's hammer.
Oh, Steelers
He's
great
famous for that.
linebacker,
He's
Jack
famous
Ham?
for his meat, though. That's what you're saying.
No,
right?
I'm not talking about his meat. I'm talking about a
he's good
driver.
actor.
Different ham.
Listen, when you say
Are we
John
talking
Hamm
about-
and driver, we're going to think you're talking about
Come
someone
on now.
I understand. Tripod John Hamm is not the topic of conversation right now.
Okay.
What I
All
am
right.
talking about is this guy who created a
Jack
driver.
Ham.
There it is.
Jack the Hammer Ham. Yes.
Bingo.
It's confusing.
I've gotten. It's not that confusing. The hammer on John Hamm is a human body piece. The hammer that Jack Ham is selling is this driver that has the biggest sweet spot in all of drivers, has more ass than you could imagine,
There it is.
and somehow hits the ball. I forget the percentage I've got. No, I guess not. I got like.
No.
I've got no less than 15 emails from.
The hammer.
John Hamm.
And you haven't responded?
It's not John Hamm. It's Jack Ham. It's the ham.
I cannot believe that we're talking about the hammer on this.
Does it work? Can
Like,
I hit the fucking thing? I haven't followed up enough. Will that make me a better golfer?
I don't know, Pat. I don't know. I mean, but in my preparation for coming on your fine show, I did not have to think about like my brain recalling the Jack Ham commercial and the hammer. You remember the commercial where he's like hitting it over? Yeah. Or we could be talking about Greg Norman. You know, if we're talking about another hammer. The
Shark.
Right?
Oh, I didn't know.
Norman's got a hog.
Okay, that's the golf
The
contest.
Shark's got a log on in there, huh?
We're talking drivers.
We don't.
We're talking sports.
No, AJ was talking about not a driver. wasn't he?
Yeah, we're done that.
Speaking of
Some of the great actors.
Speaking
John
of
Hamm.
Tiger Woods,
All right. So we're back to golf.
Okay. All right, back to golf.
Scotty Scheffler just had a kid.
Yep.
Yeah. Also hammer.
So we're lied to.
Excuse me.
We don't need to check on everybody.
Sorry.
Working
Sorry.
hammer.
Feels like
Clearly.
certainly.
Yeah.
Had a
Active.
baby.
Yep.
that baby.
Had a baby. Good. Congratulations.
Yep.
Hey, baby Scotty.
I think I was wrongfully informed about how close we were to a potential baby on Masters weekend, but I will not hold that against the Masters coverage because I had a great weekend. And it was a blast watching him do it. He has had the baby now. Rory's become dominant. He hasn't been able to play. What do we still think Scotty's in a tournament? Scotty's going to go at least top three? That's how this is always going to be? For how long?
Yeah. I mean, Scotty's still definitely the one to beat. He still is. You know, I mean, you know how it is. You got a lot of young dads walking around the Pat McAfee studios over there. Like,
yeah.
what are you doing the first week? Like, you're doing nothing. Your life hasn't really changed. He even said yesterday, I think, that he's played golf with his boys.
Nothing, huh?
And he keeps it competitive on the course when he's playing at home.
Doing nothing.
Like I think Scotty's fine.
Scotty's fine
Scotty's
doing
fine.
nothing. What were we doing? Do you have any kids?
I have 3 kids.
First week you did nothing? You did nothing?
First week I pretty much you can't breastfeed the thing. Like you do nothing.
You gotta be awake
Plus,
for like 20 hours.
It's a baby.
It's a human. It's a human, obviously.
Connor, stop it.
It's a baby.
That's Connor. That's not Connor.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I know. I know.
Educate me on baby lingo, Connor.
Well, I mean, in my eyes, those first 3 weeks are like human buds.
Exhausted.
You're not sleeping, and obviously you're trying to be.
But if you're Scotty Scheffler and you're like preparing for another major and you're preparing to go on this amazing run, he's got this sweet little holy wife in Meredith who just feels like she's just a gift from above. Like he won $18 million on the freaking golf course in 2024. It's not like they don't have help. You know what I mean? Like I think Scotty's fine.
Okay.
He wants to raise his own kid, though, probably.
You would think, yeah, that's what I'm saying. For any future fathers out there that are listening currently, and I know Junkyard Dog here, DB, has a different view. Those first 3 weeks are Those are now not everybody obviously is able to do it because of work and being around and everything like that. But those first couple weeks, I feel like are pretty
skin to skin.
loud. That's where you're like getting. That's where you're alerted to what your new life is.
Yeah,
that is like the baptism of like, hey, welcome. This is
4:30.
Everything this fucking human needs is coming from you or you. That is how this is going to go. And then it's like every 2 hours and.
What about you guys who had kids during season?
Yeah, how'd you do that?
Were you expected to participate as much?
I haven't.
Yeah.
At 6 a.m. played the game, go back
See?
home, and went right back.
Scotty
to work.
Scheffler will be able to. Scotty Scheffler's going to be able. Is golf all year round? I'm surprised they didn't. Not that you would be
Not
able
for
to play.
Scotty.
Yeah, he's going to win this thing, huh? Scotty's a chance because he's getting a full night's sleep.
He hasn't lost. I mean, what has he won? 4 out of 5 or whatever it is.
He's been top 3 every time too.
He's so good at golf, and he had.
I'm
And
going
Gumpy,
Brooks.
what's that?
I'm going Brooks. He just had his first win on accident, according to DB out there in I think Singapore, and his first win as a dad. I'm going Brooks.
Look at
And
he's a live guy.
Look at DB. Look at DB.
Exactly. And I pledge my allegiance
Another
to live.
junkyard
I know
dog.
you mentioned Brooks and John. Any other guy? I know you talked about guys peppering greens as well. That gives me a little think about Cam Smith now. If he gets on that green and putting, who else? Who's your best bet coming out of live outside of those top 2 guys you mentioned?
Well, let me give you a live bomb. Okay, 'Cause, like Gumpy always wants my
Good
my
lord.
bomb. Listen, okay. A guy who won on live, he won at 30-1 on live in Miami on a golf course where you got to hit the ball long and straight off the tee. And you got to hit a bunch of mid and long irons, which is what you're going to have to do here at Valhalla. The South African Mean Dean Burmester is an absolute unit. He crushes it off the tee.
Mean
Dean. You can bet him
tell you
outright.
something, Mean Dean.
Mean Dean, not Mean Gene. Mean Dean. He is a top 20, even a top 20 on ESPN is plus 330 for Dean. But I mean, outright he's in that 90-1 range. I
Hope
think.
he doesn't fucking win.
Why? You don't like Mean Dean?
I don't want to see fucking Mean Dean Burmeister win the PGA.
Why?
Why? What do you got against
Fucking Mean Dean.
Good
dude.
story.
Ty's got one guy he wants to see win.
Wrong. DB, last year around this time, everyone was kissing Blocky's ass because he went out and shoved his head up his ass and played great and then said, hey, if I could hit the ball farther, I'd be better than Rory. And then now this sandbagging son of a bitch is saying, hey, I actually, my course prep, I went out and played Valhalla and I set the course record.
Blocky's, we like Block. I like Block.
I don't like Blocky
too.
at all.
like
I'm
Blocky.
sick and fucking tired of Blocky. All right? Hopefully him and Mean Dean Burmeister get paired together and they put those fuckers on the CW or something. Come on. All right? But, DB, is there any chance that we're going to have the same type of run from Blocky this year, or is what we're all expecting to happen, and this son of a bitch is going to shoot an 86 on Thursday and a 95 on Friday, and he's going to miss the cut by 38 shots? What's more likely?
Well, Ty, I am. I'm a little. I can't agree with your Dean hatred. You're just.
I could give two
irrational
shits about
Dean
Mean Dean, to be honest.
What
with you.
Mean Dean?
But
If he wins, that'd be awesome because then we'll be able to. Let me tell you something, Mean Dean.
Boy, so loud.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I am
So-
totally in your camp with Michael Block. I freaking cannot stand the dude.
What?
Tell him, dude.
We like Blocky.
How?
I like Blocky. I bet Blocky.
Blocky is a nuclear
Blocky.
weapon.
Okay.
I'm not.
We're not
listen,
going to.
I got nothing against Blocky the man.
Yeah, the same.
Blocky the golfer.
I think you do.
Go back to your
Yeah,
fucking local muni and keep giving those $150 lessons and let the real big boys slug it out for the Wanamaker.
No.
Come on,
Yeah.
dude.
I love Blocky. Blocky was a good story.
He might win this year.
DB's probably
listen.
jealous because Blocky's a better golfer than he.
Yeah, DB wants to be
What, you don't have the
Blocky.
hands of Blocky? You don't got Blocky's hands, so you got to hate on this man, or what?
I mean, if Blocky had my if Blocky had, well, absolutely, he doesn't need anything from me. Yeah, he's way better than me. That is for damn sure. But actually, I do have a major coming up this weekend, Pat. Members this weekend, so that's a big deal for me.
During the
That's my
PGA
first
Championship, what type of club is that?
No, just in my home club. You know, it's a big deal, though. I know you guys play in
But the same weekend as the PGA Championship.
Yeah, so
same weekend. Yeah, same weekend.
That's full.
No, I hope
scheduling
Blocky-
weddings in the fall on a Saturday or on a Sunday. That's what just happened here.
Yeah.
You better win that thing. Nobody's going to be there. They're going to be watching one of the majors with all the top dogs at the top. You should win that. Are you and your partner the only ones competing?
No, definitely not. And by the way, down here in Georgia, we would never schedule a wedding in the fall on a Saturday. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah, just like golf. Member during a PGA championship.
Member PGA championship. Yeah,
if you don't
that's the
win,
problem.
just fill out a card and say you had a course record anyway.
That's not what Blocky did. That is not what Blocky
You've
did.
been sitting on that thing for 6 months.
Anyways, go ahead.
Dude, also, he probably played Valhalla when it was baked out and dry, and that is going to play way different than like this. He said last year how he didn't hit it very far, and this is going to be even worse. Like Blocky's going to be hitting like driver hybrid or like 9-wood or whatever into par 4s. This is going to be a huge golf course.
Okay, so
for
very
Blocky.
long. Valhalla's very long,
Yes.
which is why the bro is going to do well. Rory could do well because he smokes the ball. Is why I think he had a 358-yard drive last week. We're looking for long ball hitters, and with the soft green, anybody can get on, and that's in a PGA.
Stick.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to hit a lot of mid to long irons, and the higher you can hit them, the better, right? So a lot of like 8 to 4 irons in the bag. Not a lot of wedge contests here. This is not a lot of short irons. A lot of 8 to 4 irons. And again, the higher swing speed guys tend to hit those balls higher. And if you're hitting it higher, you're landing it. You can throw darts. I think Sahith Theegala said it today. He told somebody today that there's going to be a lot of guys going at flags because these greens are soft from like 200 yards, which is not usually the case if you get a firm, fast major. So while we have a lot of big names peaking and it's exciting, this is probably not going to be the course like conditions that we all like to see. Like we like to see it play firm and fast and have some bite. I bet the winning score is like 12 under, 13 under.
Okay, so I like whenever we're flag hunting, personally, because that's the bad decisions I make when I'm on a golf course.
Might be back in on Blocky too because he says he's the best iron player in the world. So,
Well, he's using hybrid the entire. He's not even going to get
He's
the
going to be
iron.
hitting his 9-wood. Yeah.
All right. Hey, that was a good piece of information there. We will certainly keep it. You said a lot of dumb shit, but that was a good one. You know, we appreciate the hell out of you making time and making us smarter here. Tour Junkies podcast is a phenomenal one. It truly is. They're junkyard dogs over there, aren't they?
Just like Braun Breaker,
Braun
baby.
Breaker. Yeah, cannot wait to bark for him. Just like we'll bark for you, and I appreciate you. Bet the number, pal. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, guys.
All right, let's get to a break. That was a good conversation. Yeah. Blocky, too much. You stirred it. That was leading journalism, what you did to him.
You're putting chips on his shoulder, Ty. You're giving him motivation. Blocky might win now after he sees the compilation of all of Ty talking about it.
All right. Yeah, Blocky might win. Okay.
Using Jack Ham's.
Jack Ham's hammer.
Yeah.
I've never seen that club.
Jack Ham hammer.
Yeah. They have it's like bright red. Boom! Like there's a lot of that. Like email even has that around there. A lot of pizzazz in the email.
So
bang!
How'd they get your email?
I don't know.
Did you inquire? Did you inquire about the hammer?
Legitimately, I do not know. Every once in a while.
Boom!
There it is.
Like the unduffable. You just saw it and needed it.
Yeah, so this, not the unduffable, because is that DeChambeau with the hammer?
Looks like Bryson, yeah.
He's hitting the hammer there?
Probably hit 580.
Just not allowed to use it on tour, I'm guessing.
What do they say about it in Tahoe?
I think you can.
Yeah, I know. What's that rule? What's the rule there?
Could you imagine AJ with this fucking?
Oh, God.
Actually, would hit it 600 yards.
That'd be sweet.
You get AJ going with that hammer and then that putter he's got, and then it's
All of a
bets
sudden,
are
he's fucking winning.
Yeah.
The American Century. Hey,
Somebody's got to win, right?
that is what you say every single hole.
Every year.
Somebody's going to win it. Somebody's going to.
Why not?
Probably somebody that golfs every fucking day of their life somehow.
Yep.
No thanks.
We're all striving to get to that point, aren't we?
Yes.
And when we do.
Nope. Not me.
Yeah, no thanks.
To golf every single day?
Do something else. Find a different hobby.
Like 4 or 5 days a week.
Yeah. Maybe 3.
Play video
You're
games.
saying when you're 80 years old, you don't want to golf every day?
Not every day. Maybe 3 days.
You got to do smart shit.
It'd be nice to have the option to golf every day, I guess.
There you go. Yeah, there it is.
The option.
Yeah.
To golf every day. Yeah.
Everybody loves options.
There's a lot of options coming on the other side of this break. We're buying Taka Car live on this show.
Hell yeah.
I don't know how many times this has happened, but we will be live streaming the Mecum Auto Auction, which is currently happening. Bam. That's on the lot right now. W138, a Plymouth Barracuda Coupe. $35,000.
Nice.
Okay, that's currently up for auction. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Talk does not have a car. We will be gifting him a car, hopefully, via Mecum Auto Auction on the other side. Live, we'll make group decisions on how high we will go on some of these. There's a wood grain fucking Jeep Wagoneer coming right down the pipe here.
That's the one.
That something to think about. There is a 1971. Well, what was it?
Was it
the Willie?
Willie's.
That was like a 42, I think.
Yeah, 41, I think, yeah.
There's some cars coming up here that we're going to try to get try to enjoy the hell out of this. And then we'll go into a 4-day weekend because we're a bunch of lazy bums and watch the PGA Championship.
Oh, yeah.
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. We got a car celebration coming on the other side.
Yeah.
Take this. Fight!
Bye.
Gentlemen, congratulations. Thank you so much for taking the time where you're contractually obligated to. So I appreciate you guys being here.
I want to be here. I just want you to know.
Come on.
I have watched you do your thing, man. Nothing but respect and praise for you.
Will you touch this? Me too, man.
Way to go, number 2 overall, baby.
Dude. Boys, you're calling a national championship again, Ty Schmidt.
Unbelievable. Should we be here?
No!
Probably not.
No
but
way! I kicked the ball to myself on that.
Oh, yeah.
Right there, I kicked the ball to myself.
That's right.
Should have told CJ that.
Maybe the most athletic thing I've ever done in my entire being. Well, CJ, happy to see you.
Completely ruined.
Everybody's happy to see you.
the lot. I picked him.
Everybody's really
I picked
happy
him
to
to win.
see
I'm
you,
all right.
CJ. Congratulations on winning the AFC South as a rookie quarterback.
It's a big deal. First time ever with a rookie.
You okay? That's a big deal, CJ. Dude, you're absurd, bro.
Thank you.
For how young you are?
Playing in Indianapolis, that was probably the loudest stadium I played in NFL.
Wow.
That was like a college atmosphere.
How about that?
That's Pete, you got 2 knees, 2 ankles?
2 knees, 2 ankles, and some big boy pants that slide up around.
Move along like another day. Move along.
That guy's penis go. That guy had a lot of courage. Good question.
It's ice cold in there. It's ice cold.
It's the first documented button dick. Game day set. That's what's being said. I didn't come up with that. That's what's being said.
It was our show, 3 hours, 15 minutes. Then it was a 2-hour gap. Then there's game day, straight in national championship field pass. For 2 schools that are going to be talking about this day for the rest of their lives. Both of these teams being chastised from all different angles. Washington, there's no way this team from the Pac-12 in their last year with Kalen DeBoer as the head coach can continue to win. They're going to stumble somewhere. They didn't. Then you think about Michigan. 2 separate suspensions for their head coach, and all they've done is stay the course. And tonight, banners, rings, reunion conversations forever on the line. What an honor it is to be here. Look at his belt buckle, like yours, man. Belt buckle. Like with some light ranch in it down here in Houston. He comes out of his cuts, he sees people, he shakes them, and he doesn't look anywhere near as small as you would think. He's powerful. I love Blake. A lot of NFL GMs are saying, wait a second, is Michael Penix maybe one of the top 3 guys to go to the NFL? Because what he does with a football is stupendous. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the national championship game for the 2023 college football season. That'll see the Washington Huskies representing the Pac-12 in its final year, taking on that team led by that man, the Michigan Wolverines and Jim Harbaugh. We're bouncing. We are house calling. Donovan Edwards, touchdown in the national championship. Extra point is up and good. D-Butt with the one-hand grab, start the national championship.
And maybe D-Butt.
Con man, what's the decibels over there?
Yeah, Pat, the decibels are high right now. Let me tell you, it's 106.5.
Does JJ go to the NFL, which Mel Kiper has him as a fifth-rated quarterback in the draft? What does that mean, Mel?
Well, it means that he's got the physical and tangible tools in his head to be a first-round quarterback. I think whether he wins or loses. Oh,
Donovan Edwards running into our lap. That's 2 for the Michigan Wolverines.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be your friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Sport! Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this We're About to Buy a Car Wednesday, May 15th, 2024, hour 3 of the program starts now. Sports! Or normally what we chat about, but right now we are in a place and time that we need to be. That's AJ Hawk. The Talks the Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys Tone Diggs is here. 12-year NFL vet Pac-Man Jones is here. And 9-year NFL vet Darius J. Butler is here. And we are currently streaming live into the Motor Trend TV and mock stream of Mecum Auto Auction that is taking place, trying to buy something for our friend Talk, who does not have a car in Indianapolis. On the phone, I have a man named Zach. Zach, how are you doing, pal? He is live at Mecum's taking calls for bidders from afar. Zach, how's it going, pal?
It's going great, guys. How's it going on your end?
Well, this fucking wood grain is certainly something we're thinking about. Right now, it's sitting at 19,000. I see on the screen. Is that accurate, Zach?
Yeah, that is accurate. 20 grand to get in if you want to get in.
What is the engine on this thing, Zach?
That is a 360 cubic inch V8 motor, automatic transmission. Now it's at 20, asking 21.
How many miles on that thing? We'll take 21.
We just missed it. Got to be 22. It's got 94,000 miles. Got to be 22.
22. We won 22,000. Yeah, we definitely won the wood grain.
Clean.
22. You're in.
Here we go.
You're in
Talk.
at 22. You're holding at 22. They went 24 on the floor.
Four, Zach. Got 23, 4, 5, 25 pounds and out of bed. Here down 5, negative 25. Yep, 25 pounds head. Here down 5, 25, 7. 27 pound out of
Zach, it's moving. Let's pull up the website.
Now it's 27.
Talk. Can we get a shot on Talk right now and see what Talk is thinking in his tire thing? Talk. Thumbs up, Talk.
Come on, Talk.
Thumbs up. All right. What do you need, Zach? What do you need?
27.
We'll do 27,000.
Oh, my God.
All right, you guys are in at 27.
Turn the audio up.
27, 28, 28 pounds and out of hold on. 28 pounds and out of bed. Here we go. 27, 28. Last call. 8, 28, 29, 29 pounds and out of bed. 28, 29. They're not going to do 9. 28, 29. You're 9. They're not going to do 9. Not going to be down to bed. Now 30. Now 30.
30? What the fuck happened?
Good car.
Down to bed. Last call. 30 pounds.
30?
Can't do it.
Yeah. Suicide.
No, Zach, I ain't no puppet.
What's next?
Boom.
Okay, here we go. Hey, here we go. Hey, we're in the game now, Zach.
Oh, shit. The 1998 BMW.
They hammered it at 29. We missed her.
No, Zach. There's more. We're on the website. Let's go to the next.
Let's go to the next one.
What is the next one? It is 1969 Ford F-250. Is that right?
Negative. We got a Willys Swoopster convertible.
Oh, this is the one. What's the number?
Oh, no, I think we're too far down.
What number is that?
W what?
That's 142.
Oh, there's another one coming. Okay, so
yeah.
So there it is. Oh, the 1941. Yeah.
Okay. Where are we at on this one, Zach?
Oh, yes.
On this Willys, we're at 33, asking 35.
That's a nice car.
Look, I mean,
turn up. Let's hear the attention. Let's hear how active these.
40, 35, 40. 40 pounds and out, internet's in. 35 to bed, 40 pounds out.
This thing would die in Indianapolis.
Talk would die.
I was going to say, this guy's wrapping this around
Zach,
the
that's
telephone
not the right
pole.
car for us.
No.
Okay, thank you, Zach. Yeah, thank you. Zach agrees. Zach agrees.
What's coming?
Drive back and forth to the venue every day. I know.
Yeah, so, okay, let's get back to that website. Let's get back. Boys, we're in there.
Yeah.
Hey, we were in.
Yeah,
oh,
right.
my God. An 02 Cadillac Escalade?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about
Those
that.
were the best. Those were awesome.
I agree. That was back whenever I
Worst car on gas, though.
Yeah, they were
Well,
tough.
don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Talk's pain.
Talk's
I
not
guess,
rude.
Yeah.
The 1970 Chevelle convertible that's coming up here next. Boy.
Yeah.
You know,
go for a
That's
bunch.
almost too
Go
cool,
for a
though.
bunch.
The 57 Bel Air or the 65 Suburban.
I'm thinking about the 65.
Bel Air is going to be really high.
The 65 Suburban, though.
Okay. All right. Hey, the next one we're going to be in on, Zach, is probably the 65 Suburban, which is W144.1, I think.
That's what I like it. I like it.
Okay, can you give a guesstimation on what that is going to, like, starting bid will be for that, Zach? Do you know that type of shit or no?
I would probably say it's probably going to start somewhere in the high teens, low 20s.
All right,
Okay,
sweet.
there we
Okay,
go.
all right,
There we go.
let's get back to the auction. Let's hear what they're doing over on Motor Trend.
80 pounds and 80 pounds and others. Run that great looking Chevelle. 75, 80 pounds.
Why are some push and some drive?
75, 80.
I think they all have the engine on at some point. That's a good question, actually. Hey, Zach, how come some of these are being pushed and some of them are actually driven?
Yeah, great question. So actually what we do is we drive them up to the center of the block. So that Bel Air just drove up to the center. And then what we do is we actually push them off the block just to kind of keep the fumes down as much as possible. And then they'll actually drive off the block. So
Yeah, because you need to hear the purr. You know, you need to hear that. Like whenever that Fire Flames truck came in, we heard the. And we're like, wait a second now. It's not just looking amazing. You should hear this son of a bitch. That's a big part of the sell.
Indeed.
All right. So AJ, do we want to get in early or we want to get in late? We're broadcasting
Set the
live.
tone. Let them know you're serious. I think get in early.
Okay, you think you can't go with the
Intimidating.
first offer. When they do that first offer, they're trying to catch people pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they're going to go down. We can't be those people. We have to be the people that, like, after it settles. I think we get in the mix early, though. I think we jump a couple thousand. I think we try to play a little bit.
Tire kick.
Yeah, boom, we'll do that.
Yeah, we try to get the little fish out.
Scare the casuals out.
This Bel Air is not.
We'll get in there early when it starts on the bottom swing. Yep.
Yeah, bingos. I like where your head's at, Zach. And also, I don't know if you heard us. We were strategizing over here. You can't hear everybody because I have headphones in and you're on phone. But we think we want to immediately alpha whatever when somebody goes. If this starts at like 50,000, we don't want to do this.
No.
But if we are in the teens of this entire thing, whatever number it gets to, let's say it's 15,000, somebody else goes, we want 17.5.
Yeah.
Okay, and then if they come in, 18, we want 20.
Boom.
You know what I mean? Like,
Gotcha.
yeah. Okay. Let's make sure we say it with authority too, Zach. Let's make sure they know.
Come on, Zach.
Zach, we need you to
Let's
perform
go,
a little
Zach.
bit, Zach.
Come on, Zach.
Gotcha. Here we go.
There it is.
There it is, Zach.
Go, Zach.
Turn this
Oh,
on.
it's amazing.
100 pounds and out of bed, 20 bed, 30 bed, down to get it 30, 40 pounds and out of bed. 40's the bed, 40.
Zach!
Nope. No, 20's the bid. He's trying to get that.
40, 50, 40 pound out of 50 pound out of bed, 40 bed down to
Now
get
it's
it.
at 40
Yeah.
40's bed.
Zach, we're out.
I mean,
Zach.
That thing's cool, though.
No shit.
we do 40 and $1.
Zach, it's currently at 40.
It is at 40, asking 45. Correct.
Can I get an inside shot? Can my baby fit in the back seat? You know what I mean? Can we put a?
Yeah, Suburban.
Oh yeah.
Is this automatic or stick?
Automatic.
It is automatic. Now they're at 45, asking 50.
Well, 46.
Is Talk covering half of this? Or?
No, I'm thinking about buying this one for myself here. Can they open the door one last time?
55, asking 60.
That's too much. That's too much. I'll get something else.
You're going to be there in person tomorrow.
Yeah, you're right. Now's not time.
Right.
I can at least smell the gas.
On the website, me and Ty saw, we might have missed it. There is a 2002 BMW that was used in the Fast and Furious movies.
When? Coming up?
It's coming up.
Vin Diesel may have been sitting in
Let's go back to the website. Let's go back to the website.
It's orange. I think it's orange and it's blacked out.
We are currently doing a Manning cast of this fucking thing, by the way.
Oh, look at the
The Monte
van.
Carlo.
Look at the Volkswagen van.
So I owned one of those Volkswagen vans. I actually called it the Cash Wagon. I did a full giveaway of money.
Bring it back.
Driving that thing around town. Impossible to drive. Impossible.
Not for talk.
Oh my God, talk would be so fucked. It was the one I had was stick, but the clutch had no catch point.
Seeing Talk drive that on the highway every day to work, though, maybe.
There was no suspensions in that fucking thing. I mean, you're riding, and there's obviously no power steering, so it's a. Zach, where are we at right now? What number are we on?
We're on 145. It's this 02 Camaro.
Ooh.
50 grand on it.
Oh yeah, that's
not.
That's too nice. Talk, sorry, Buzz.
It's down 2 more rows, Zeet, on the right side.
02 Escalade
Boom.
coming up.
1998.
02 Escalade we might be dancing with. Can we go up to the 02 Escalade? Let's
I
see
like
what
the Blazer, too.
I like the
Blazers.
I like the Rockstar Rockstar bus, the tour bus.
Yep. No reserve.
87 Monte Carlo.
I was going to say,
Hey, let's check out that Cadillac though. It's coming up, I think, right? Is the Cadillac coming up now?
It's coming up right now. Yeah.
Can we go to the? Can we go?
Ooh, it's clean.
How many miles? We need to see the miles.
16,000 original miles.
That ain't
What?
bad at all.
Go to the website. Can we go to the website, please, so I can click on the photos of this thing? This might be the gift for the wife.
Wow. Those seats are so comfortable in those Escalades.
I
though.
mean,
I love that leather.
How much is it at?
I want that.
20 grand asking 22.
Talk in this thing for 22 grand.
That'd be incredible.
How about 21?
Yeah, we'll go 21 grand for that thing for sure.
21. All right, you got you in at 21.
Should we get a
21 going to be 200 going to be to bed. You won 2. I had 22 pound dollar. You're now one to bed down negative 22 pound dollar down negative.
Talk. I don't know if you're getting this for the offices.
One to bed 22,000. You're down 21 and down 2.
Talk.
Down Daniel. 22 pound dollar down 1 2. Last call 22. So
Yeah! Talk. You got next one.
Let's go.
Hey, come on out here, Talk, please. You go, congratulations, man.
Wow. Proud owner.
He's got a 2002 Escalade, dude. Congratulations. Happy for you, bud. No, thank you. Thank you. All right, it certainly is.
Let me talk.
Hey, wait a minute.
Press Talk.
Oh, hell yeah.
That was a good deal.
Yeah.
21,000 bucks.
Telling me.
Hey, Zach, way to go. Hey, Zach, way to announce that with some pizzazz to let them know that we're serious in the room, you know?
Absolutely. No, and props to you guys. You know, the old coach talk, right? Team effort, guys. Team effort.
Yeah, you're right, Zach.
Well said.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow. We'll pay for this tomorrow. Talk. We'll certainly have to come sign all that paperwork and get his insurance. We appreciate you, Zach. You're the man.
You guys as well, man. Take it easy.
All right, see ya.
My turn. I want that one.
wow?
My turn. That's clean.
Damn.
I'm telling you, hey, that was fun.
Yeah. So I'm more jacked up now to go back tomorrow.
21,000 bucks for a 2002 Escalade.
Hell yeah.
Fucking Talk.
What's the original miles mean?
16,000 miles?
16.
Original.
What's that mean? They put a new engine in it? What new transmission?
That's how many miles it got on it from the day it was made.
Yeah,
So
they
that's
drove it.
original miles, not doing.
So they didn't drive it?
motor.
They drove it backwards.
They drove for 16 and then it sat in a lake for
Danny
like
DeVito
800
and
miles.
Matilda.
And then,
Dr. Mount Meekum wouldn't put those cars out there for
way.
Talk to own.
now, this would have been funny too. Or not funny. Sorry. We weren't here for jokes. This would have been cool for talk.
This would have been. I mean, this thing dies on the streets of Indianapolis, but yes. This
That was
would-
actually in Four Brothers.
Hey, Z, way to make that work with the Zoom.
Got baby Z.
Cross
That's
zooming.
it's this right there. That's a bad car. I don't know. What are you talking about? That'd been a great car.
17,000 now, Pac-Man Jones. We can call him back. 18,000. Monte Carlo SF.
What?
All right, I'm happy with what we got. We didn't get to get really, most people that go to these get to see the cars.
Sure.
They look at them. See
That thing was clean. You didn't need to see that.
Amen.
Yeah, certainly had a good clean job.
was.
For him.
To the internet.
Sold to the internet.
If you put some bullet hole stickers on that thing, it's gonna look real nice right away.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Is this this is the car? All right. That looks
Look
fucking
at that.
clean, dude.
It looks too good to be true.
Well, AJ,
That's the thing.
that's
Now-
fucking 21,000 bucks for that.
Why
Deal.
wasn't anyone else bidding on this?
Nobody got it. Nobody understood.
They didn't understand. You're right. They don't get it.
That's Tony Soprano's car. Okay,
You're
that's
right.
why you get it.
Look
Look
at
at
the
fucking
feet
Talk.
on them things.
God, shoes are nice.
Let's go.
Yeah, open that door, baby.
Was Talk born in 2002?
No.
No.
No, yeah, this is certainly
2018.
before his time.
Those are the most comfortable seats, though, for real. Back
That's
then,
right,
that leather was awesome.
Leather in good condition.
How's the?
I like that
entertainment-
era.
The entertainment.
Oh, we got blinking
we got
lights.
that light. Yeah, what was
No,
that?
that's,
That's because the hood's
that's
open. The
supposed
hood's
to,
open.
that's supposed to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's because the hood's open.
Let's go,
Look how clean-
Talk.
Look at that. No way that was sitting in a lake for 3 years.
I agree. Make him one.
No chance. There's
That's
probably
a
a really
sweet
small
car.
chance.
Hey, Talk. That is a sweet. I'm very pumped for you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Way to go, Talk. Proud of you.
I'm talking.
Talk's like, what did I do? I just didn't have a car. All right. Sweet, I'll do it again.
Does he have a license? He has his license though.
Yeah, I don't know how good of a driver he is.
Oh my God, he's terrible. It's fucking.
That's gonna be a
awful.
big car.
You need a big car if you're not a great driver.
Yeah, I heard other people. Yeah.
Also, where he lives downtown, that thing is getting its windows smashed in with a baseball bat the first night.
No, it's
Put
back.
it in
Remember,
his
Steak
car.
and Shake.
Oh yeah, you're right. Never mind.
Okay, let's get out of here. We will see you guys on Monday. All right. Today's show really had it all.
It did.
Today's show really
Truly.
had it all. Educational program.
Always.
Yeah. Jeez Louise.
Tomorrow
That
we're
was
going
awesome.
back, baby.
I need Isaac Barnett out of the fucking WNBA.
Agreed.
Today.
Come on, Coach Sods.
But like, I don't even.
We're on Coach
We're on
Side's
Coach
side.
Sods' side.
On your side,
Tell you what,
guys.
I hope she coaches another 10, 15 years. I've completely, after what just happened, that's just the perfect. That's,
I was gonna say I'm in a great mood
yeah,
now.
it's unbelievable.
How
move.
about that? 2 cars that we really liked in the first, like,
Right
10,
away.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
On the money.
Shout out
You're
to
going to buy 30 cars tomorrow. How do you not for real?
I know. That was my point.
That's why I
You're
can't
going
go.
there in person too. You're going to hear him revving the engine.
Dude, a couple of them Jack and Diet Pepsis, too, are going to be there.
Ooh,
Oh, is that
yep.
the guy?
Oh, my.
I'm excited for you.
I already
really
owe him $25,000. I haven't paid off. I just got a tab kind of running.
Can you sell the Wrangler? Can't you roll the Wrangler in there and sell it?
I'm not ready to part ways with that just yet. Sometimes you got
You've
to
been
look.
driving.
Sometimes you got to
You've
look.
been driving a lot.
Sometimes you got to look at the bad decisions and just remind yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go look at that thing before tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a great idea.
That is great.
You could sell it for double probably.
Yeah, here's a nice '61 Corvette convertible. That's our guy Matt on the mic. Turn that up.
Hey, is it mostly internet guys or in person?
Both.
Deluxe Samba bus. No expense fare, ground up restoration, force bleed, and a sliding ramp.
Oh.
Speed band down.
Wait, let's call Zach back.
75.
Oh,
It's
boy.
75 in a bit. 15. 15.
Oh, yeah.
Does he sound 115,000?
25. Could have been 30,000 a bit. Thank you. Dump 5. And then could have been 30. Not could have been 5. Could have been
Oh, I'm hanging up. We're not buying that. We're not buying. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here.
It's more.
It is. Yeah,
Kind of
wait.
sweet. It's kind of sweet.
No,
though.
we saw a big goes on. Exact same type of car that was way better, souped up on the inside and everything.
Yeah, the big goes on lot means it didn't hit the reserve yet, but it stays out there, and the owner can be reached if you would like to negotiate a price to potentially.
Here we go.
buy.
Here's a nice little look at it.
Oh, wow. Good zoom.
319 miles.
Yeah, you can't drive the fucking thing, but
But it looks cool.
you can certainly put it out there. That doesn't look like the same one, does it?
No, it's not. It's a different one. The other one was much better.
Okay.
Man, Exhibit would
That's
have
nice,
a
though.
field day with this thing.
Oh my God!
Can't
That
do
would have been Papa Shot. Imagine it turn the entire back out of Papa Shot.
Exactly.
I heard you like playing indoor hoops.
Watch this. Open the roof.
What a show. You're right. What a show. You're right.
Dude.
God.
When Exhibit would show up at your house.
Oh, God.
What a fucking dream come true. My
Yeah.
batteries aren't ever going to work.
Right. Please let Matt Mike be working this weekend. God damn.
You like movies, I heard.
Watch this.
Here's a fucking popcorn maker, a projector, and a screen. You don't even got to set up.
Nope.
Just need a generator.
Yep. We need to see where are they now? Where are those cars now?
Oh my God!
Where
yes.
are those people?
Maybe in Meekum. Let's keep our eyes peeled. You know, for a movie theater Volkswagen coming through.
Is that like a 2-door Blazer?
Chevy
Bronco?
Blazer, yeah.
Cheyenne.
Oh, I love those.
Hey, it's 25,000. You want to make it 35,000? 35,000 all of a sudden.
I'm not really a car guy, but I can see how you get carried away and want to buy a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Flames truck still on my mind.
it's still available from what I've been told.
Yep.
Are you going tomorrow?
I would hope. I would like to.
Are you going to be there tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely.
That Flames truck is coming home.
It's going to be really
Could
hard.
you imagine us making eyes on that thing one more time?
Is the bid still going on that?
Yeah, yeah. Bid's still going.
Oh.
We need to bring 50 cans of spray paint. Black. Bring a 2x4 and put it on the back, just like Dwayne The Rock Johnson in Walking Tall.
The fire flames.
Yeah, I don't want that truck if it doesn't have the flame.
Oh, no, I'm going black, blue flames. You got to mix
You're
it up.
You're doing
I'm reflaming it, yeah.
You're spending another 10, 15 grand.
I'm going to have to on the inside. We all saw it.
I thought it was pretty clean.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to have to update it. Yeah, you're gonna have to,
No sound system.
you're gonna have to get some. A lot of these cars, the entertainment is not.
You can get, you can put a sub system in there.
Yeah, put 2 12s in the back.
Yeah.
Couple boom booms, you know.
Freaking DVD player in the front.
All right, we're watching. We're just stealing their show and watching their show. All right, yeah, let's get out of here. Have an incredible weekend, everybody. Thank you so much for allowing us to do this for a living. We do feel lazy that we're off the next 2 days, but it's like there's so much going on. The PGA Championship is going to be worth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Same as the Masters.
Let's go. Down there, Valhalla. Not to be confused with Hale Swallow. Is that what he said the other place was? He said where did...
Whales Hollow.
Whales Hollow, there it is. Yeah, DB was like, he just did great at the Whales Wallow. He's going down to Valhalla. I'm like, what the fuck? Are those two different courses?
I have changed my tune, too. I hope Blocky wins this weekend.
All right.
Okay.
I hope he hears that.
Let's go.
Because I'm sure he got sent the first one. Jeez, when you and...
He's going to shoot 61 tomorrow.
That'd be awesome.
Course record, again.
What was the course record? What did he shoot?
62, I think he said.
Why'd you say?
Exactly.
When he held up his scorecard, 62, and I know Blocky doesn't lie. That's what everyone says. So it's true.
That's what Ron
63. My bad. 63.
There you go. So 62 tomorrow.
Man, look at all those birdies.
That'd be so much fun to do that. Wouldn't that be cool to have?
That's every day for Blocky.
Yeah, that's
every
Blocky,
day.
baby. Welcome to his life.
That's Blocky golf.
Yeah, bingo.
That is a cool hoodie.
What's the record here? He actually has.
Yeah, I'll let you know after this round.
Did Sunday Red hire him or bring him on?
Who?
Sunday Red. Tiger?
What's
You're
that?
not saying it right.
What's Sunday Red?
Sunday Red.
Oh,
there you go.
Is that right? Okay. Yeah, my bad. Yeah. So is Blocky an athlete with them?
I think so, yeah. He probably has that tiger on his back.
I heard he had a multi-million-dollar deal. I heard.
I thought he was making.
Why is everybody doing this? All of a sudden, we're going another way again.
Yeah,
There's only one.
I'm not going another way. It's very positive.
Day Red athlete, and it's Tiger.
Yeah, Blocky's H&R Block.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. He did sign up with H&R Block.
Yes, he did.
I'm happy for Blocky. I don't know where you're...
Told you.
Isn't it bad? It's a little aggressive.
It is.
No,
very aggressive.
changed my tune. We bought a 2002 Escalade for Talk, and now I'm back on Coach sides. I love her. I hope she, gets this thing figured out, and I hope Blocky wins.
Hell yeah, so much good vibes.
Feel good Wednesday.
Feel good Wednesday all of a sudden. All right, have an incredible weekend, everybody. Darius, have a good one. Safe travels. Pac-Man,
You too, brother.
safe travels. Boys, whatever you do this weekend, hope we all do well.
Make good
Amen.
decisions.
Amen.
Don't embarrass the program. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. And during this break, you should stop by Dick's House of Sport. Showcases the best from top brands in apparel, footwear, and equipment. J.J. Watt is already making himself at home. You should too. Also, for SeatGeek, listen, when the NFL schedule gets released, okay, they wanted to add a little bit of a reminder. When it gets released, SeatGeek has you covered. Right now, you get $30 off tickets with code MCAFEE30. Now, that works for all types of events. But once the schedule is released tonight, holy shit, we can get a gift. We can get to an early game. We can schedule Christmas tickets, maybe Thanksgiving tickets. We can do something. SeatGeek's got your backs. $30 off. McAfee 30. Some restrictions apply, but it does not matter if you've shopped there before. You'll still get $30 off. And have the greatest weekend of your life. I genuinely hope that happens. We're all in this thing together. Let's never forget. Even if, we hear something that maybe sounds like it's from the year like 1010.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
1010. Little antiquated.
Yeah.
Team on me. Team on three. 1, 2, 3. Goodbye.